Mets leave the Subway Series for the sights of D.C. First trip of the year to the nation's capital. A chance to do a little sightseeing and maybe play a little baseball. Maybe even score a few runs. At Nationals Park in Washington, D.C., the New York Mets play the Washington Nationals. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to our nation's capital. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets open a three-game series against the Nats. Last time the Mets saw the Nats, it was the opening series of the year, and they got swept away by Washington. Looked like a big year for the Nats, but the injury bug has killed Washington ever since.
You know, it's amazing. 2012 was such a big season for them, a disappointment last year, and disappointment so far this year, mostly through the injuries. You said before, 2 thumbs and a quad. Harper, of course, with the thumb, Zimmerman with the thumb, and, of course, LaRoche. And those are the 3 biggest offensive parts of this team, and that's why they've struggled to score runs.
Nats have continued to pitch well, but they've been the lowest scoring team in the National League in the month of May. As for the Mets, they're still trying to fit 5 outfielders into 3 spots. Juan Lagares, again, the odd man out tonight, but Bobby Abreu will get a start in right field.
Well, Terry Collins said in his pregame that he wanted offense. I think it's a bit premature. You got a ball club that really scored a lot of runs in Yankee Stadium. Granted, it was Yankee Stadium, and then gets shut out twice in only the last 2 ball games. You know, Abreu's the veteran. I thought he would come here basically and be coming off the bench, your main guy pinch hitting late with the game on the line, but he's getting a lot of playing time, and kind of Lagares has been the odd man out here. They said he's been a little bit frustrated, swinging at bad pitches, getting a little bit too mechanical, but my feeling is the only way he's going to fight out of this and learn from it is to be in the lineup every day, and plus with the defense he plays, it's such a plus.
And Terry said that Lagares will be in the lineup for Game 2 of the series tomorrow afternoon. On the mound for the Mets tonight, John Neese has been their most consistent starter all year.
He has been great. You know, he had the spring training where he struggled to really get healthy, but ever since he's come out of the box, like you said, Gary, he's been their most consistent over his first 7 starts.
And Tanner Roark, who other than a couple of down starts has pitched really well for the Nats, goes tonight.
Just like he did last year when he went 7-1. Tanner Roark, one of those guys, just has impeccable control, throws strikes. The Mets are going to be challenged tonight.
So it's the Mets and the Nats on a nice evening in our nation's capital. All the action coming your way tonight right here on SNY. Chrysler. Visit your local dealer today for great deals on the entire stylish lineup, including the Chrysler 200. By Geico. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. This summer, enjoy sun, sea, and a fifth night free, only in Cayman.
Oh.
Get to Free Shirt Friday at Citi Field, Friday, May 23rd, when the Mets take on the Diamondbacks at 7:10. All fans in attendance will receive a Mets t-shirt courtesy of Geico. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Free Shirt Fridays. Time for tonight's AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet or Instagram your photo using hashtag SNYFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later tonight during the game. Mets in D.C. for the first time this year, hoping to take down the Nats. First pitch coming up on SNY. Pepsi, live for now. That's a thrill.
Where was that thrill?
It's Matt Harvey throwing. You know, he can't throw all out yet.
It wasn't the Chris Matthews thrill, I hope.
You lost me.
He had to throw up his leg, he said on the air once.
Here's your Geico Mets starting lineup. Bobby Abreu playing right field. Curtis Granderson slides over to play center tonight. Anthony Recker gets a start after Juan Centeno started last night. And that's the unit the Mets will send out there against 27-year-old Tanner Roark.
You know, he's just been fantastic since he was called up last season. I said in the pregame 7-1, but this year so far, his record is not great at 2-1. He's only had a couple of bad starts, including one 2 starts ago, but fastball, curveball, slider, and change.
And the national defense, Coors Light, of course, brings that to you folks back home. And DeMenard Span in center. For Jason Worth, of course, is the big guy out there in the outfield, the strong arm. Tyler Moore at first base, playing in the absence of the injured Adam LaRoche. Wilson Ramos just returned. Remember, he got hurt in that opening series in New York, and he's finally back in the lineup.
Nationals swept the Mets that opening series of the year. But they're just 2 games over 500. Mets 2 games under as we start play tonight. Eric Young again leads off. EY 1 for his last 11 after a terrific run for about a week after being reinserted into the lineup. Just about nobody in this lineup hit the last 2 nights as the Mets got shut out in back-to-back games by the Yankees at home. First pitch of the night by ROARK is off the outside corner, and we're underway. Young at 236, 326 on base percentage. Daniel Murphy on deck, and then David Wright in the opening inning. And there's a fastball on the outside edge for a strike, 1-1.
ROARK has good sink on his fastball.
Has a fairly even distribution of his 3 secondary pitches: slider, curveball, changeup. And a fastball strike, and he's ahead on Young, 1-2.
Ronnie, you mentioned his 2 bad starts. He's given up 18 runs, ROARK, this year, and in those 2 starts, 12 of those runs out of the 18. So he's been pretty solid in the other starts. Got a complete game shutout.
Mets struck out 14 times last night against the Yankees, and Young just gets a piece to avoid an opening strikeout tonight.
Well, it would be very interesting, wouldn't it? After watching the game last night, what would you throw if you're the pitcher for the Nationals? A heavy dose of curveballs.
Well, they swung at the curve last night. Now, granted, there were some exceptional curveballs coming out of the hand of Betances, but like they'd never seen a curve before.
Grounded to the second baseman. ESPINOSA slides over, and that's the first out of the night. Dennis DeMuth, the veteran, is behind home plate tonight. John Hickok at first. John Byrne, his major league debut at second. Welcome to the show, John. And Lance Barrett, the umpire, at third.
Well, John can be very thankful for the challenge rule because that's why he's in the big leagues.
Now, do umpires get butterflies in their big league debut?
Well, probably the first time behind the plate, huh?
Maybe behind the plate is it's probably the real initiation.
We'll see him behind the plate on Sunday. Here's Daniel Murphy, and he takes in the high strike. Murph's hit in 7 straight games. He's really been the one Met hitter who has been slump-proof this year, hitting a .317. Top 10 in the league in doubles and in runs scored.
Well, he hits line drives, and he's used the whole entire field. He's a gap-to-gap hitter. He's even used the left field line, Daniel. So he's someone that has adapted, or the ballpark at City with all this talk has been good for him.
Well, this is a ballpark that in many ways is similar to Citi Field. It's a huge outfield here. Not quite as deep to center, just 402, but there's a lot of space in the Nationals Park outfield.
402 in center, 377 left central.
You know what ROARK sees there as he's looking at the plate. You see the batter's box. Murphy's all the way back in the batter's box. But you know what's awkward for me? See the lines for the catcher, where the catcher's supposed to stay? They're outside of the batter's box line. Just strange to me. This looks awkward.
Just a little off line.
Boy, there are still that's a drop.
Rendon unable to get there, and Hairston, not a lot of speed coming in from left, couldn't get there either.
It was Hairston that was unable to get there.
Well, Murph comes into the day tied for 4th in the National League in base hits, only 4 behind the leader. The Rockies have cooled off. Blackman, Arenado, not so much Tulowitzki, he's still there, but they had to come down to earth at some point after a very fast start. 2-2 from ROARK, and Murphy just gets a piece with the curveball.
You know, after that ball hit foul by Murphy, this is one of the few new ballparks that has some foul territory.
At Citi Field, that ball's probably in the stands.
Big time.
7th pitch of the at-bat from ROARK, and Murphy skies one to left field, playable for Hairston. And the former Met puts it away, 2 down.
Well, I love the plaza up there. I guess you call it the plaza, the concourse over the left center field fence. People are still streaming in. It's going to be a big crowd tonight. And you can see them coming into the ballpark.
Yeah, I like that too.
It's comes from the subway, right? All the folks.
Down Half Street. That's the street just beyond that left field plaza. And they come down from the metro and into the ballpark.
M and Half Street.
And the stadium is going to fill up before the night's through. It's
nice to see here, is it not?
Here's David Wright, who had a very rough night last night. He takes a strike. David struck out 3 times in his 4 hitless at bats and had a rough play in the field that helped to cost the Mets the only run of the game. And he takes a slider off the plate, 1-1.
Well, they've just been pounding David with fastballs in and then pretending just going away with the breaking ball, and he's been chasing.
And chases that slider 1-2. And if he's going to chase that pitch off the plate, why throw him a strike?
Well, look, he's not jumping, he's not bailing here, but his butt's flying out and he can't reach it.
Wright is 0 for his last 10.
And they pop him inside to keep him honest. You know, the game has
foul territory. Moore comes over and drops it. Well, that's one LaRoche probably puts in his pocket. But Wright gets an extra life.
Well, their defense has not been good since they've lost their best players. And all you have to do is put your glove up high. You don't have to cradle it.
And they will charge an error on Moore to prolong the time at bat. That's the 37th error of the season for the Nats, which is the most in the National League. And that was a point of emphasis for Matt Williams coming into the year. And it has not worked out that way.
Well, Matt Williams was a 4-time Gold Glover. He loves defense. He was a great defensive player himself. But when you don't have your best players in the field, those kind of things happen. Things you take for granted that the good players do every single day, the not so good players or the players learning don't do every day.
David fouls off the fastball. Well, you know, one way or another, this is the 2nd straight year that the Nats were the favorites in the National League East and have not played like favorites. They had an underwhelming year last year, had to go on a spurt late in the year just to salvage some respectability, and just 2 games over 500 this year.
The fastball in.
Bloops one. That'll fall into right field for a base hit. David snaps an 0 for 10 with a 2-out single.
You know, the collateral damage of all this is that, you know, Tyler Moore's at first base and he misses the play. So everyone thinks, you know, that's not a big deal. Defense is not that big of a deal. Well, you know what? Adds pitches. It just gave David Wright a hit. He's got to face another batter. All of this stuff in today's game really does mean something.
Well, an inning that should have been over instead gives the Mets a chance to score. Curtis Granderson steps in. Curtis went 2 for 3 against ROARK, first time the Mets faced him this year, and he takes a fastball strike.
You know, getting back to the Nats, Gary, it's only 2 years ago when they were one out from going to the World Series, and the Cardinals snatched it from them. They didn't. They shut down Strasburg, and everybody thought a little arrogance on their part. You know, it doesn't happen all the time when the stars align, and they've had their difficulties since then.
So you think it might be karma?
Have to go check the zodiac scale.
Look at the charts. 1-1 to Granderson. Curtis 0 for his last 7 after his 2 big days back in the Bronx. And ROARK gets ahead of him 1-2. ROARK faced the Mets' 3rd game of the year and finished off the sweep of that opening series. Went 6 strong innings, allowed 2 runs, and an 8-2 Nationals win. And Wright almost leaning the wrong way. He looked like he was set to go, and ROARK almost picked him off.
Well, luckily he had a small lead, so that allowed him to get back. That's not a big lead.
He was on his horse.
There he goes. Granderson goes down on strikes, and that brings an end to the opening inning. So ROARK able to work around the error. John Neese takes the mound for the Mets. No score going to the bottom of the 1st. Starting lineup for the Nationals, the lowest scoring team in the major leagues in the month of May, but they've gone 5-7 because they've gotten good pitching. And John Neese, a good pitcher, will face them tonight.
Well, John's record should be much better than 2-2. Look at that low ERA, great innings pitched per start, 45-42 in his career in 125 starts.
It's the best I've seen John pitch since he's been up.
Denard Span will lead things off. Span hitting just .235 and just .184 against left-hand pitching. You look up and down this Nationals lineup, and you find on-base percentages under 300.
His is .286, right?
Not very good for a leadoff hitter. But he laces one sharply into right field for a leadoff hit. So numbers be darned.
These Nationals hit against the Mets, though, don't they? And Span especially. Last year he did not have a home run, I believe, and then he faced the Mets here and hit 2 in a series. And here, blisters the line drive, Keith.
Just out of the reach of Daniel. And this is not a team that steals a lot of bases. They only have 16 stolen bases as a squad this year. They're 13th in the National League. Span with only 4 stolen bases hasn't been caught.
Span has now had a hit in 13 straight games against the Mets. To your point, Rod.
Right.
Here's Anthony Rendon, who's been one of the best bats for the Nats this year. Began the year playing second base and moved over to third when Ryan Zimmerman hurt his thumb. Zimmerman is still several weeks away, and Bryce Harper is still a couple of months away. First guy they should get back from the disabled list is Adam LaRoche, and he's probably 10 to 12 days away. There's Zimmerman, who has always killed the Mets in late inning situations.
Zimmerman just can't stay on the field as the young Bryce Harper, the young career he's had. He missed a lot of time last year, and now missing more time this year. This guy has also had his share of injuries.
1-1 to Rendon. He grounds one down to right, comes in to play the backhand, and it plays him, and everybody's safe. David looked like he caught a little in between there, and it's an error to put 2 men on.
I thought he was trying to get rid of it really quickly, and that's why he took his eye off it to throw it to second, because it was not hit that hard.
Well, David, normally sure-handed, gets a short hop and just looks like he closed his glove too quickly. Let's see the better angle here. Yep, there was that nice, easy short hop. That's the ball club last night, folks, that probably didn't get to bed till around 3 in the morning. There was a lot of bad weather. The Mets flew in on and landed around 2 o'clock. It was around a 45-minute bus ride into the hotel. By the time you get your luggage, it's 3:15, and the next thing you know, it's 12 noon. You're ordering lunch, and you're on your way to the ballpark.
Any more lines on that itinerary?
What I loved, he went to get his key from the players' envelopes, not the media last night.
Yeah, I did.
Once a player. Here's Jason Worth with 2 on, so Neese finds some early trouble, and he dents the outside corner to Worth. Worth having another fine year. 385 on base percentage. He's hitting .438 against left-handed pitching in the early season.
Without a home run. His 5 home runs have been against right-handers.
Hits one sharply, base hit. Span around third, he'll be waved home. Eric Young's throw to the plate is not in time. The runners move up to second and third, and the Nats have the early 1-0 lead. So 2 hits sandwiched around an error. Eric Young throws it over the cutoff man, and both runners move up.
High ball hitter, rips it. Now listen, you got the leadoff hitter in Span who can run. Not a great arm in Eric Young. Oh, he overthrew the cutoff man. And everybody on the backside offensively for the Nationals saw that the throw was over the cutoff man and advanced. So not off to a very auspicious start here, the Metsies.
And that is such an enormous play. It's a 1-0 game, no big deal. By missing the cutoff man, you give them a chance for 2 more easy runs.
The defense the last 3 days has not been very heads up.
Well, Eric Young had the ball he dove for with the pitcher on deck that cost the Mets a run in the game 2 nights ago. Up and away to Wilson Ramos, ball 1. Ramos hurt his hand in the opening series of the year against the Mets, a broken hamate bone. and missed almost a month and a half. He's only had 19 at bats this year. Mets have the infield back. They'll concede another run on a ground ball. Rendon at third, Worth at second, and Ramos fouls it off. And this is the last guy the Mets like to face in big spots.
Well, David tries to deke here, but it's not going to fool anybody when it's a rainbow coming in. And everybody wisely on the backside. You see Recker is not blocking home plate.
Dana
cannot.
Right there.
Well, Dana's been around a long time. I like Dana. You don't.
Yeah.
You said you got a small strike zone?
No,
I'm not saying you dislike him.
Yeah. He was around in our day.
He was coming up. He was just a rookie umpire when I was on my way out. So you say he was a hitter's umpire. Okay. That's why.
I wouldn't say he just had a small strike zone. Like, he wasn't going to give you anything extra. He knew that going in.
It's been so long. I forget the young guys when I was on my way out.
He's trying to find his footing in this first inning.
He's going to call Recker out. You know.
Well, Rendon makes the turn. See, he sees the throw is going to be over David's head. Beautifully done. You still want to make a little bit of a harder turn, but I can see it's a long season. These guys flew in from Arizona last night. They had a long flight home.
They had an off day yesterday.
Oh, they did? All right, I stand corrected.
Fly ball, left center. That should get a run in. Rendon tagging at third. Granderson makes the catch. His throw will go to third. Sacrifice fly for Ramos brings in the second run of the inning. 2-0 Washington. Just the second RBI of the season for Ramos, which for the Mets, getting it out from Ramos is a big deal.
That's right.
Since he hit 381 against them. So 2 runs are home, and now Ian Desmond hitting 5th in the order with Worth at second and 1 out. Desmond has really been scuffling over the last 3 weeks, hitting just .226 for the year and striking out in big bunches. And the cutter inside for ball 1.
It's been his entire game. His defense has not been good either.
I got to wonder if his offense is affecting. Yes, 46 strikeouts.
When we talked about the Nats leading the league in errors, Desmond has made 10 of those errors in a quarter of a season. That's a ton. And he's not all that sharp, behind 2-0.
What's crazy about pitching is that you can come out, you can feel great, think everything's going to go your way. Next thing you know, 2 runs are in 2 minutes.
And now 3-0 to Desmond. Scott Hairston, the on-deck batter. He's shaking his head as he takes that return throw. John gave up 3 runs in 6 innings against the Phillies last start on Sunday. A no decision game for him. Wasn't his sharpest outing, but was able to keep his team around. There's a strike, 3-1. But John begins the night 7th in the National League in ERA. Legit 2.17. And not a good beginning to this game. Not helped out by some shoddy defense behind him. And he and Recker not on the same page. Gets the swinging strike on Desmond, 3-2.
Desmond's body's balance is bad, Keith. See how he's just falling across the plate?
Looks very mechanical. Yep. He reminds me a lot of Jeter in the way he looks facially and body type.
He's been the best offensive shortstop in the National League the last 2 years. Dangerous hitter. 3-2 pitch. Up and away, ball 4. So Nice's first walk of the night, and 4 of the first 5 Nationals have reached base.
And the Lexus Metropolitan defense. Abreu getting the start tonight in right field. Tejada's earned himself back in that lineup. He's just playing good defense, hitting sporadically, but playing with a good glove. And of course now with d'Arnaud with the concussion, Recker's going to get a lot more playing time.
So now Scott Hairston, who's had just a handful of at-bats and has done well, 6 for 15 to begin the year. Hairston, who spent 2 years with the Mets. getting his 4th start of the season, and he takes ball 1. Hairston's always been a guy who specializes in hitting left-hand pitching. 5 for 11 against lefties this year. Tyler Moore, the on-deck batter.
Loves the ball middle of the plate in. Very quick hands.
And he rips one into left field for a base hit. Worth held up, so he'll go to third and stop there. And the Nats have the bases loaded.
2 very similar hitters, Hairston and Worth. And both got base hits in the same spot between third and short, and both pitches belt high, middle in, where they like it. You've got to keep the ball down on those 2 hitters.
So now the Nats with a chance for a huge first inning.
Got to make sure the ball's through first when the ball's in front of you, not get doubled up. Innings still in order with 1 out.
So now 2 runs in, bases loaded, 1 out, and Tyler Moore steps to the plate. Moore, who's got terrific power, has just 9 hits this year, but 3 of the 9 have been home runs, and he has a home run in his career against John Neese.
Well, also he's got a double in there, so over almost half of his hits have been extra base hits. Davey really liked this kid. 2 years ago he had a terrific year off the bench when they called him up and hit with power off the bench, and last year was just kind of a lost year for him.
Yeah, 10 home runs and 156 at bats in 2012 for Davey Johnson.
And Neese misses with a curveball, and with the bases loaded, he's behind 2-0. So a dangerous spot here for Neese. And now 3-0.
Wow.
You want to be the ace or the dean of the staff. These are the kind of games, Gary, when your team gets you, you're not playing very well right here, that you got to kind of take over the inning yourself. Get the team out of the inning somehow, some way. Get a strike and now roll the ground ball. Get out of the inning. Get your team back in the dugout.
(3-1) coming to Moore, and he fouls it away. 3-2.
Well, there was a pitch to hit. Right down the middle, fastball count, and here it is. And you get under it.
Danny Espinosa, the number 8 hitter on deck.
He's another strikeout guy.
(3-2) to Moore. Grounded foul.
With Jonathan Neese, it's really important for the shortstop and third baseman to know what kind of pitch is coming. If he's going to throw that cutter down and in or in, David's got to go 1 foot to the line, and Tejada's got to move 1 foot at least in the hole.
Again, the 3-2. Hit sharply. Murphy bobbles, has it. Tejada with the turn. Not in time, and a run comes home. That little bobble by Murphy cost the Mets another run, and it's 3-0 Washington.
Well, the ball's hit hard. It's a short hop. Murph just doesn't come up with it cleanly. No, it's in between hop. And there you go. So not as egregious as last night against the Yankees on that one double play ball late. That was brought in the only run. That was a tougher chance.
Well, the Mets have done anything but play airtight defense behind Neese in this first inning. He's hurt himself as well. But 3 runs are in. 2 out now. First and third for Espinosa. Espinosa's gotten a chance to play since Zimmerman's been hurt. Rendon moves over to third, and Zimmerman took over as the full-time second baseman. He got time before that pitch was thrown.
Okay, Neese is not happy with that timeout call. And here's the play at first, and he did beat it. So what could have been double play and out of it does not happen.
Espinosa, a switch hitter with power from both sides of the plate. But he has struck out a third of his at-bats this year. 41 strikeouts and 123 at-bats.
That's what he does. Hasn't hit a home run yet. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. I'm out to lunch this morning.
He's got the high leg kick, though, and I think that throws off his timing at times.
He just runs one inside. Espinosa 5 for 10 in his career against Nice. Remember when we first saw him?
Yeah. He had 2 home runs, right? One from each side of the plate here.
Yep.
He's a high ball hitter right-handed and a low ball hitter left-handed. It's typical. Got to keep the ball down on him from this side of the plate. Like that.
Good curveball by John. Well placed. Just a big swing. And when you have a swing that big, it's going to result in strikeouts. It's also going to result when you make contact and the ball going out of the ballpark.
Desmond at third, Moore at first with 2 out, with 3 runs home in this inning. And Espinosa makes contact and fouls off that cutter.
He had the full beard working last year, if I recall, Espinosa. Looks a little different with the 5 o'clock shadow. There's a full beard.
Works for him.
Looks like an extra in 10 Commandments or something, right, Worth?
Jeremiah Johnson.
30th pitch of this first inning upcoming. They take off early, and now the Mets try to execute the rundown.
Nice.
Now they've got the runner trapped between third and home. Desmond. Murphy running at him. And Wright will take charge. Wrecker.
Nice.
And finally, Tejada puts the tag on to end the inning. So the Nats trying a little first and third magic there, but the Mets finally execute the rundown and get the third out. The Nats score 3 and put the Mets in an early hole.
Kick off your Memorial Day weekend with free
Tried to steal an extra run in that bottom of the first, but the Mets thwart them.
This is by design. Pitchers try to draw a balk first. Now Murph comes in. Right there, the runner was down right before Murph. This was well played by Murph. Because once the runner gets down around 20 feet off that bag, and you're running the runner, whether it's the first baseman or second baseman, he can't get back, so you start running right at him. And that's well done by Murph. That was well played, well designed.
If you're keeping a scorecard, that's a caught stealing 1-4-5-2-6.
Very good.
And they were waiting for Murph to throw the ball to first, and when the ball's in the air, the runner's far enough down, he might score. But the big key is, and that play took me a long time to figure out. Well, once I figured it out, once they get down, Gare, 20 feet, they're dead, and you can start running right at them.
Bobby Abreu leading off in the second inning. Tanner Roark's take to a 3-0 lead. Abreu getting his 5th start for the Mets, playing right field tonight.
So once they're off third, like 1/3 of the way home, then they're dead. Is that what you're saying?
Even less than 1/3,
okay.
because you're running the guy down. You're like an infielder playing in. So it's a very short throw to third, and once you run at him, toast-a-roni.
Well, let me ask you this about the second baseman's responsibility on that play, because you're running the guy back toward first, but you're also keeping an eye on the guy off third. How far do you run him back before you get rid of the ball?
When I did it, I felt I was the general, because you always want to throw. The pitcher's always going to throw most of the time in front of the runner, and you run him back to the back bag. So running him back to first base. It's my job as the first baseman, where as he's running him back, I can keep an eye. The first baseman can keep an eye on the runner, and the second baseman has to trust me. So I would use hand signals and my voice. I'd point, run him, or if the runner broke home, I go home, run him, or third.
So you've got to be the second baseman's eyes as far as keeping track of that guy. Third.
Precisely.
And you know the other part of it offensively, because we were saying they really probably put that play on. Desmond's job is he's waiting for Murph to let the ball go to the first baseman. As soon as he does and that ball's in the air, that's when he takes off. That's why the fake by Murph worked on Desmond.
3-2 to Abreu. And it's too high, ball 4. And Abreu walked as a pinch hitter last night. Walks his first time up today. First walk given up by Roark, and the Mets get a leadoff base runner. Roark's been walking very few. He had walked just 10 in 7 starts coming into the night.
You're gonna walk Bobby Abreu once, so you might as well just pass him along like they do in the softball leagues. Not even throw a pitch.
No active player has drawn more walks than Bobby Abreu. So now Judah, 0 for his last 7. He was the final out last night in the Mets' 1-0 loss.
Lucas got 4 straight curveballs at 3-1 count and got a fastball and took it, and then got the 3-2 hammer.
And that enabled David Robertson to close out a shutout win for the Yankees. It was interesting watching the Mets last night because they faced 3 pitchers with 3 very different game plans. Whitley, and then Betances with that overwhelming slider, and then Robertson. And they didn't succeed against any of them.
Whitley was a kind of a control pitcher, change-ups. Betances was just a raw power run. He threw hard at the hard-breaking ball, hard slider, almost like a curve. Then you got Robertson who throws hard with the hard slider, too.
7 strikeouts in a row. You don't see that very often.
Betances had 6 of them by himself, 1 shy of the most the Mets have ever had against one pitcher in a row. Steve Renko, back in the day, 1972 for Montreal, struck out 7 Mets in a row.
I faced Renko more than a few times. Heavy fastball, curveball.
Now look at that stat. 5th most strikeouts through 40 games in Major League history. What's interesting about that is that the other teams who have had more strikeouts through 40 games have all been big home run hitting teams. Duda hits one deep to left field, but playable for Hairston. And he grabs it for the first out. The other teams that have had that many strikeouts through 40 games all had at least 39 home runs to that point. The Mets have 28. So usually high strikeout teams are coupled with high home run teams, but that has not been the case.
Yep, the Braves are a perfect example of that.
So Abreu at first and 1 out. Now Anthony Recker. Recker and Juan Centeno will split the playing time with Travis d'Arnaud on the concussion DL. This sounds like a weird thing to say, because nobody wants to suffer a concussion, and I'm sure that Travis is trying to fight his way through it now. But the break might come at a perfect time for Travis, who was really struggling the last week to 10 days that he played.
Record's a little out in front. A little too quick with the stride. You see his body weight forward. Once your body weight's forward, you're dead. You're dead in the water there. So it's better just to take. I can't hit it. Don't swing at it. Really, the at-bats he had against Tanaka was the first time I really saw Anthony this year overmatched. He just didn't have a chance. He's always a threat up there.
ROARK just missed with that fastball, 1-2.
And everybody goes through their ups and downs in the course of a season, and it's very difficult for a player like Recker who doesn't play every day. It's a tough job, and it's tough to stay in top form.
Ramos setting up inside, and Recker gets tied up and gets a piece of that.
ROARK is a good example of a guy who doesn't throw 95 miles an hour, throws 90, 91, but he pitches inside on both sides of the plate, the left-handed hitters and the right-handed hitters. That opens up the outside part for him.
ROARK, quite the success story. 25th round pick by the Texas Rangers. Even before that, he had to go play independent ball for the South Illinois Miners in the Frontier League, but was able to work his way to the big leagues with the Nats, and has hit with a splash.
Those independent leagues, is that where you spend all day working, and then after work is done at 5 o'clock, you head over to the ballpark and throw your cleats on? Or no?
I don't know. I don't know what the salaries are like in those independent leagues now. I mean, they've got a lot of ex-big leaguers playing there.
Remember the old
Atlantic League.
So those guys might have some saved cash up so they can just concentrate on baseball.
You remember the old co-op teams in the minor leagues?
Yeah.
Are they still around, Garrett?
I don't think so.
You should probably explain that to the folks.
Strike three called, and Recker is out for the second out. Well, co-op team was a team that didn't have a major league affiliation.
Right.
So they would basically have players that were owned outright by the minor league team playing against major league affiliates in the same league.
Right. So my brother, when he was playing, got co-opted out to Salinas. He was with the Cardinals, the A-ball team for the Cardinals was Modesto. They didn't have a spot for him, so they co-opted him to Salinas, which was in the Florida State League, and that was a co-op team.
Oh, wow.
And he played first base there.
California State League, yeah.
Now, instead, you have independent league teams that have no major league affiliation, and they all the teams in the league have their own players.
And if they have a player that a team wants, they sell that player to the league. Okay, I get it.
Exactly. There's Ruben Tejada, and trying to bunt his way on with the third baseman Rendon playing back.
So the one point I want to make, one final point, if you're a player and you don't want to be co-opted out by your organization,
because that means that they don't want you on their team.
It's not good. You start looking for a new organization
or a different line of work.
Exactly.
Abreu at first and 2 out, and Tejada hits it sharply but right at Espinosa. And that'll do it for the Mets in the top of the second. A leadoff walk, but nothing comes of that. Lenny in the house to the bottom of the second. 3-0 Nats. Them out for the bottom of the second after a very rough first inning, enhanced by some poor Mets defense. Nats got 3. Danny Espinosa, who is at the plate on the abortive delayed double steal, gets a fresh plate appearance.
John's got to get his zone down. How, Ron? It's like he's dragging his arm.
He's falling off to the third base side too early. So what happened is he's dragging. You're right, Keith, dragging his arm through the zone.
Grounded slowly. Tejada waits on the backhand. High throw.
Nice.
Duda with the tag, but safe at first base. And we'll see whether the Mets are inclined to challenge this.
Did he tag him? We're so high up here, it's hard to see.
The one thing on a play like this, the manager Collins has a great view from their dugout.
He gets the tag on him. Is he on the base when he tags him? He's out.
It's close.
Here comes Terry.
Here comes Terry.
He's out.
Well, the only thing is we got shielded there by Duda's body. Maybe this is a better look. Did he actually tag him? If he did, he's out. Because Espinosa's not on the bag yet.
I think he tagged him.
All right.
So Terry's talking it over with Ed Hickox, who made the call, and it appears that the Mets are challenging. But the other part of that play was that Tejada laid back on that ball. You know, that ball was not hit particularly hard.
Well, I think what happens on that play there, see it, does he make the tag, Keith? Looks like he does.
I think he makes the tag.
If there's contact, he's out.
Hard to tell, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Can you say 100%?
Well, you have to have, was it clear and convincing evidence? It might be convincing to you and me, but it may not be clear.
Well, here we go. It's a quick. If they're taking the headsets off, they made a quick decision here, obviously.
And they changed the call, so the Mets win the challenge, and Espinosa is out. So take away the error, put a 6-3 in your scorecard, and Terry Collins will have another challenge for later in the game if he needs it.
There it is, right there. It's clear, Your Honor. I rest my case.
I'd hate to have my future judged by you. I'll tell you that.
Thank you. My client is innocent.
Presumed innocent.
Here's the pitcher, ROARK. 1 for 10 this year.
You know, you were talking about Tejada, though. The elite shortstops do the footwork before that ball gets to him, so the ball's on its way as soon as they catch it. He caught that kind of on his heels, and that's what made that play the way it was.
I mean, Espinosa's not the fastest guy in the world, but you got to know he can run a little bit.
Especially from the right side of the box, but still.
0-2 from Nice, and the changeup bounced toward third. And David Wright makes the play for the second out.
Nice backhand by Ruben, who's had trouble with his backhand and gets rid of it quick, but throws over a little javelin over there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, though? The elite shortstops do that crow hop before they get the ball. So when they get it on that backhand, they get something on the throw. He kind of threw on his heels, which didn't get a lot on it.
Just seemed like the ball was hit slowly enough he could have cut down the distance a little bit. You know?
I remember guys like Gary Templeton, they'd kind of run around that on their forehand and feel that coming in towards the first baseman.
Denard Span got the 3-run first inning started for the Nats with a base hit to right field. David Wright in against the threat of the bunt. And he falls behind 2-0.
Usually you want to throw where you kind of get the ball out in front of you and you manipulate it out in front of you. John's just dragging his arm through the zone. Instead of cutting it, he's kind of just like dragging it over to the outside. That's why the ball is just doesn't have any cut on it and just ends up in the bottom of the strike zone.
He walked Span on 4 pitches. Second walk given up by John. So the Nats have a 2-out base runner with Rendon coming up. Rendon hit a ground ball to David Wright, who was unable to handle it cleanly on the backhand for an error. That made 2 of the 3 runs against Nice in that first inning unearned. So if you're dragging your arm through the strike zone, how do you correct that?
Well, what you have to do is sit back. What happens is his body is moving towards the target before he. You got to be able to have a transfer. You got to go back, stop, and then proceed to the plate. He doesn't have that. He's going up, and at the same time, his body's leaning towards the plate, so his arm can never catch up. I bet you he's much better in the stretch than he is out of the windup right now.
So it's almost like a balance thing when you lift your leg?
Yeah. Exactly.
You also like hitting, Ronnie, you want to keep your shoulder in there, your front shoulder in?
Well, front shoulder, and think about it, when you're, when you are trying to teach young kids how to pitch, you have them balance on one foot, right? They balance one foot and then proceed to throw the ball. Well, he's not doing that right now. He's very quick with the transfer, which is having his arm a little late in the slot.
So it's almost like his lower half is falling forward, which is forcing his arm to drag through.
There you go. Now, if John's been around too long, he should be able to feel it. You just feel it in your bones and go, okay, boy, my arm is dragging. Okay, what do I do? Shorten your stride. That's one thing you can do. That'll get your arm up on top. The other thing you do is say, hey, I'm going to get all my momentum right through Wrecker. I'm not going to fall towards the third base side, the first base side. Get it all going through Wrecker.
He's got a nice curveball going today. He hasn't thrown it that
4 times.
I know.
Yeah.
I think he should go to the curve. Find his rhythm through his curve.
2-2 to Rendon. Span runs. Tejada comes in to play the bouncer and throws out Rendon to end the inning. So Nice gets 3 ground ball outs around a walk. Shaking his head coming off, trying to figure things out. 3-0 Nats after 2. $3-0.
I guarantee you those people down there in the stands are going to be putting on a little warmer clothing as the night progresses.
Might be a little cool. Temperature will be in the low 60s. Well, John Nice bats. The schneid was broken last night by Jacob deGrom. That pitchers finally got their first hit, and John Nice will try and tack on. He has drawn 4 walks this year, going 0 for 9. And ROARK gets ahead of him and strikes him out. 3rd strikeout for ROARK.
It's a shame deGrom got that loss last night. It was quite a game. It was fun to watch. He got the crowd excited not only with his pitching but his hit.
The interesting thing from a big picture perspective about deGrom's start last night is that the plan appeared to be for Dylan G to go on the DL. Missed 2 starts. Montero would join the rotation, replacing Mejia. And then DeGrom would make those 2 starts for G and go to the bullpen. But what we saw last night from DeGrom was interesting. He appeared to get better as the game went along.
Well, I look at it this way. Make it a healthy competition between Montero and DeGrom. Whoever pitches better gets the rotation spot.
Hey.
Other guy goes in the bullpen.
Absolutely.
Very nice. Either way, can't lose.
DeGrom's performance was extremely impressive to me, and so was Montero's. Both for their first start, they're both nervous. But as you said, DeGrom, what I liked about DeGrom was that he mixed it up every time through the order, and in the back end, when he was the last couple innings, he started throwing fastball. Wasn't afraid to challenge hitters. I love that. Everybody wants to be cute.
Eric Young swings and misses. 1-2. Well, let me ask you this. You say healthy competition, and that's terrific.
Yeah.
But should the decision, if it comes to that, be made on whoever's better is in the rotation and whoever, quote-unquote, loses the competition goes to the pen? Or should it be about who can better adapt to pitching in the bullpen, since neither one of them's really done that? Ooh, backhand play by Moore, and the pitcher gets over just in time for the second out.
Gary, whoever goes to the bullpen, and I'm saying this, let's say both pitchers do extremely well, okay? They both are solid as Moore makes his play. He's not a first baseman, he's an outfielder, but he finally makes the play on Young. Let's say they both pitch well. I think that even if they're relievers, they're not going to be true relievers in the sense that they're going to go out there and you're going to use them 3 days in a row. They're going to be the kind of guy that's going to be a long man, that's going to pitch maybe on a Tuesday, and if they pitch 2 innings, they won't pitch again until Thursday or Friday.
ROARK makes quick work of the Mets in the 3rd inning. 7-pitch inning for ROARK. 3-0 Nats. Jason Worth leads off against John Neese, and he takes a strike. Worth lined a single to left to drive in the first Washington run, and they're 3-run first. He's just looking a little out of sync tonight, trying to find himself. He's been very unhappy with himself, you can tell by his body language. A ball and a strike to Worth with Ramos and Desmond to follow.
Well, you can't fall into the trap, and I've done it before, Gary. You can't go that way. You're pitching for your ball club.
Another chance for Tejada on the backhand, and Worth retired, 1 out. Third inning brought to you by your Tri-State Audi dealers and the all-new Audi A3.
You can fall into the trap. I've done it before, where you're out there and you say, woe is me. Team's not scoring. I give up 3 in the first. This looks like it's not going to be a great day. You can't fall into that trap. You got to trust your teammates and say to yourself, okay, I've given up 3 in the first. That's not good. But let me shut them out for the next 6, and let's give my team a chance to get back in this game. Nibble back at and get back in it.
Mets have gone 21 innings without a run.
And you still have to fight it. Yep. It's a hard thing, but you still have to fight it.
Ramos delivered a sacrifice fly his first time and takes low and away.
You know, there's plenty of times out there when you're getting your lunch and you're going 5 innings, giving up 6 runs, and your team scores you 10, and you get a win. You forget about those times sometimes.
Murphy on the backhand, can't make the play, and Ramos has a base hit. It's the Mets, and Ramos has a base hit. If he played against the Mets, he'd be the MVP. He played nothing but against the Mets.
You know, it's understandable from where he's from, but when I watch his batting stance, it's exactly copied from Andres Galarraga. It's exactly that same stance.
Here's Ian Desmond, who walked his first time up. He's looking back at his middle infielders to see who will be covering if he gets a comebacker. Popped up. Duda chasing it. And makes the grab. 2 out. So Nice gets a 1-pitch out from Desmond. 2 out of the inning. Now Scott Hairston. Hairston was right in the middle of things for the Nats with a base hit to left field in the opening inning.
A couple things you can do to Scott to get him out. You got to stay down along the bottom of the strike zone. He's a high ball hitter. You got to stay away from him. And once you get ahead of him, you can bounce a curve or throw something like neck high. He likes to go after that pitch. But anything middle of the plate in, danger zone. I used to call these guys spin hitters. They just spin on that front foot and look for that ball middle of the plate in and want to hit it over the left field wall.
He did plenty of that a couple of years ago for the Mets.
He did.
20 home runs, a career year for Scott. Boy, that year he was a left hand chewing up and spitting out machine.
He had the kind of year that you see guys have on championship teams, where Oakland does this a lot, where they platoon and they get just such great ability from the right-handed hitter against the lefties.
Drives this one to the gap in left center field. That's going to be down, and 1 hop against the wall. Ramos to third. He'll be waved in, and he'll score without a throw. Scott Hairston with an RBI double. Stretches the Nats lead to 4-0. First RBI of the season for Scott Hairston.
There you go, Ronnie. You're talking about the ball up in the strike zone. Belt high and up. He kills. And I tell you what, I watched Ramos here.
Runs pretty good, right?
He runs darn good for a big guy.
Wouldn't want to be in front of him, I'll tell you, because he's not stopping.
270 feet, a long way to go. Hydrate.
That was Jose Lobaton, the backup catcher.
Tyler Moore takes a curveball for a strike. Moore drove in a run on a fielder's choice when the Mets could not turn a double play in that first inning. So John Nice, who's never lost to the Nationals and has great numbers in this ballpark, having a rough night. This one's lined to left. Young will not get to this one, and that'll bring in another Nationals run. Hairston scores. Moore, after a hard turn, holds it first with an RBI single. Back-to-back 2-out RBIs for the Nats, and they lead 5-0.
Changeup run?
Yeah, changeup.
It got it in.
Yeah, down and in changeup does not work against the righties. Let me ask you a question, Keith. You mentioned before the team got in late. Do you know as a player when you're on the field that your team looks a little flat? Can you feel it? Like, is it palpable?
I didn't feel it before a game.
Yeah.
I would feel it on the bench.
Or
sometimes you're just the team is flat. You remember me. I was always chirping.
Yeah.
Say, pick it up, guys. You know what I used to do. I could sense it in the dugout as the game progressed and early.
Espinosa trying to turn on one. Yanks it foul. Well, how much also is the transition out of that, Max Cauldron thing that the Mets play against the Yankees for 4 days? Does that have an impact as well?
I really think that of course that adds to it. You win the first two on the road in Yankee Stadium, and you get discouraged losing 2 at home and you don't score any runs. And on top of it too, and I'm not one to make excuses for anybody or have any sympathy, but get in at 3 in the morning, get to bed, and come here and play a ball game. It's a tough game to play. You really got to really dig in. And you really need a performance from your pitcher to go out there and kind of keep you in the ball game.
And you can sense that as a pitcher, Gary, that, I'm not saying when the team's flat. That's not it at all. But when there's more kind of responsibility on your shoulders than other times.
You know what I'd be inclined to do today with the scheduling, Gary, with the 4 extra teams now and more trips out west? I would be more inclined to fly my starting pitcher on the opener of the series on the road. When you're going to get in late, fly Nice into D.C. the night before.
Or take the train or whatever.
Or you can get a good night's sleep. I'd be more inclined to do that. The starting pitcher is the most important guy out there. So that's just my feeling of what I'd do. Then hopefully you got a pitcher that would get some rest. That's the whole purpose of the flying out early.
That's the only caveat, I guess.
But really, when you think about it, team gets in at 3 in the morning. There's no reason you can't get a full night's sleep before you come to the ballpark.
But these guys come to the ballpark too early.
But who said they should do that?
Well,
I mean, if they got a full night's rest, had a little rest and relaxation, came to the ballpark at 3 o'clock instead of at 1 o'clock, wouldn't that make more sense?
Agree.
Kevin said it yesterday, right? With this report, he was talking about Joe Madden has American Legion Day, where they can't show up to the ballpark till 4:30.
I guarantee
no one's allowed.
We flew in many a time at 3 o'clock in the morning, where it's no different. And I wouldn't wake up till all my children came on at noon.
I thought that was at 1.
I think you're thinking of Brian's Hope. 2 to Espinosa.
You got to think for Shaban.
And I tell you what, oh gosh! Remember Paul Gleason? Paul Gleason was the bad guy for a while there in All My Children.
Neese handles the comebacker from Espinosa, and that ends the inning. Well, it's been quite a soap opera for Neese in these first 3 innings. Finds himself behind 5-0 as we go to the 4th, with the Kennedy Center looming in the background. with SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Good crowd gathered at Nationals Park tonight for the opener of this series. Mets in a 5-0 hole as they come to bat in the 4th inning. David Wright has the Mets' only hit. He dumped a single into right field after his at-bat was prolonged on a drop foul pop, and he takes ball 1 from Tanner Roark. Wright, Granderson, and Abreu as the Mets try and fight back. Roark has walked 1 and struck out 3. Mets have not scored a run in 21 consecutive innings. Their last run came Tuesday night in the 9th inning at Yankee Stadium. And David lines one toward the middle, but right there's Espinosa playing perfectly for the first out.
Folks, when you're watching Roark throw at home, you're saying to yourself probably, boy, he doesn't have anything that's outstanding. But watch his fastball control. It's impeccable. When the catcher calls for it away, it's either on the corner or just off. If he calls for it in, it's on the corner or just off. Fastball control is the key for any pitcher.
There's Granderson, and he takes a strike.
And he uses his changeup, I think, just the perfect amount. Doesn't fall in love with it.
Yanked to the second baseman. That's playing no shift. 2 out. Bobby Abreu comes up with 2 out. We check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
I mean, Gary, who's been better in his career than being selective but also doing plenty when he has the opportunity? It's Bobby Abreu, right? And I think when you watch this Mets team and trying to push that forward to get your pitch and do some damage with it, maybe he's the guy you want to model after. I asked him, how do you do both? How do you be a selective hitter but don't lose the aggressiveness? He said, well, I think there's a lot of layers to it. He said, first of all, you've got to show you can do damage before anybody's going to want to walk you. That's number one. He said, I think, too, everything is really dictated by the game, and the situation of the game should dictate everything. He said there's a lot that goes into that. You're up there against a guy who's a strike thrower, go up and hack, especially if there's a runner in scoring position. If you're up there against a guy who's a little wild, take your time, look for a certain pitch, and if you get that pitch in a certain position, then you give it a good rip. There's all these things that I think go into it. And again, if you get to the point where you get to be a better hitter, you'll get that more respect, and you'll get those better pitches that you can do damage with. So it's kind of cyclical in a way. I think it's a good model, though, guys, to look at a guy like this and see what you can do in this type of philosophy.
Oh, nice hook.
Well, Kevin, I think, one, Bobby Abreu, top of the food chain as far as hand-eye coordination is concerned. You're right, Keith. Good hook there by Roark. But also, when you get that pitch, can you deliver on the pitch? And Abreu has done it his entire career.
Not that time. Wow. Roark looking very sharp. The Nats' 5th starter looking like an ace. 4 strikeouts for Roark, 5-0 Nats. Home fourth inning. Nats leading 5-0. Tanner Roark leads off against John Neese. Roark grounded out his first time up.
Roark looks a little bit like Matt Harvey with the beard. There you go.
Matt.
Same look.
Murphy to his right, can't get to it. And Roark has his second hit of the season. And the beat goes on for the Nats tonight against John Neese, who just looks absolutely disgusted.
Ball hit sharply. I mean, how many balls have just been out of Murph's reach in this series?
You're right, Gary. Neese's body language is just not good. It is. It's utter disgust at himself, I'm sure.
7 hits now for the Nationals. And now Denard Span, who's been on base twice, a single and a walk. He's scored a run.
Maybe that's the goal. Get Roark on the bases. Try to tire him out a little bit.
Well, last few days, the Mets have run into some good pitching. Sometimes, though, it's hard to tell where the good pitching stops and the offensive problems begin.
Well, listen, Tanaka is the real deal. I think Whitley did a great job because he went 4 2/3. Joe Girardi got him out of there pretty quickly, and Betances came in and was just lights out. So those are the last 2 games. Roark is a very accomplished pitcher. I think what happens is that you have these two meeting of the minds mixing, the philosophy of the Mets and Roark, who's a strike thrower. And when did the Mets decide that they're going to have to be more aggressive because Roark is? That's always the rub for me in this philosophy versus the opposing pitcher.
Well, what's fascinating to me, and I know that you were looking at some of the numbers today, Ronnie, is the Mets will point to the fact that they are right now 5th in the National League in runs scored. I think it's 4th in runs per game. But it's been a fits and starts kind of thing. They've had some big successes like they did early in the week in the Bronx, and they've had most of the time very little success.
Well, I just crunched the numbers today just for fun, and they played 40 games coming in tonight. This is their 41st game. 6 of the games they've scored 54 runs. That's 9 per game. That's fantastic. But the other 36 out of the 40, they've scored less than 3 runs. So for the most part, you're getting less than 3 runs when you go out here to play, and that's hard to do.
Well, what that seems to say is that they've had success when they faced, I guess you'd call it, lesser pitching. The guys who can't throw strikes.
Middling pitchers.
Right.
And bullpens. Bad bullpens.
Which, well, that's part of the process too, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to get into the bullpens. Part of the reason why you want to work deep counts. But the problem is that, pitchers know what they're trying to do. And if you got a guy who can throw strikes, now your challenge is that much greater.
I would say that if I were a pitching coach in any team facing the Mets, my last words to my pitcher would be, remember, at all times, be aggressive. That would be the last thing I would say to my starting pitcher that night. When all else fails, be aggressive. The game in the Yankee Stadium was Nuno, right?
Right.
With all the walks and the inability to throw the ball over for a strike one. I mean, the Mets offense, they feast on people like that, on pitchers like that.
3-2 to Span, and Neese fans him with a fastball. First strikeout of the night for John Neese. I'll give you an idea how much he's been struggling.
Well, the guys like Nuno really had nothing. I hate to be so cruel, but that was, you better beat up on guys like that. I don't care what kind of lineup you got.
There's Rendon, who's reached on an error and grounded out 0 for 2. But the bottom line is, in the last 22 innings, the Mets have no runs and 8 hits. It's a hard way to operate. 0-1 to Rendon.
And like I always said, when I looked at the stats of every game, Gary, I looked at innings pitched to the starting pitcher and walks. And if it was 80 innings pitched and 40 walks, I knew two possibilities. I can go deep in the count, he can fall behind, or I can get a first pitch fastball if I had him in trouble because he doesn't have command. The guys had less walks, had 50% to innings pitched. If they had less, then you knew you had strike throwers. So you go up there and you'd be aggressive.
See, you were doing whip before they even had whip.
Carlos Torres, an early call in the Mets bullpen.
And you look at the Nationals this year, they're in the same boat. They score 4 more runs, they're 17-1. When they score 3 or less runs, they're 4-18. So, you know, you're going to have to put up 4 or 5 points a game if you really want to have one of those real successful years.
Rendon drills one toward left center. Over comes Eric Young with Granderson, and Granderson steps in front to make the play. 2 out.
That's one of those balls here, folks, in our booth that's hard to call because it was off the end of the bat, and when it left, it looked like it could be a gap shot, but it kind of died out there in the outfield. Nice play by Granderson in front of Young.
And calling it off. There you go.
See how he yells it over and over and over. You can't yell it too many times.
You don't want a collision. Remember when Mookie and Lenny collided out in left center field?
That's right.
How wicked that was.
And Gary saw the Cameron Beltran one, right?
Oh, I was there too.
You were there too, yeah.
That was 2 guided missiles coming together. It was awful. Because you had 2 guys who were used to being center fielders and both diving for the ball, and they just came together head to head, shoulder to shoulder. It was gruesome.
It's like center field is the type A of outfielders, right? So they both were ready to go get it.
Good curve.
You made the call, Keith. You should have used it more early. That curveball, it's his best pitch tonight.
Yep.
Wilson Ramos would be next, but he's trying to put a stop to this 4th inning right here after giving up a leadoff single to the pitcher. Ahead on Worth 0-2. And he pokes one into center field for a base hit. Well, one more curveball, and Worth able to get just enough for his 2nd hit of the night.
Well, you hate to be critical, but you also have to have control when you're ahead in the count. When you're ahead in the count, you have to bounce that pitch. I know that was a good pitch, and it was out of the strike zone, but Worth is such a good 2-strike kind of hitter that he's going to try to put the ball in play. So you got to almost bounce it on the plate.
So now Ramos, who has a sacrifice fly and a single to center, bats with 2 out and 2 on. It's been such a challenge for the Nationals, keeping Ramos on the field the last few years. Knee problems, hamstring problems, this year a broken hand. But when he plays, he hits.
You guys watch him this time. Watch his stance if it reminds you, Desmond on deck, of Galarraga at all. I mean, it's kind of the same body type, right? Big, thick individuals, both from Venezuela.
Wide open stance, swinging that front foot in.
He was quite a player, very underrated player for his time, the big cat.
Well, he was good in Montreal, and he was great in Colorado. Came to the Mets one last spring looking for a comeback. 1 home run short of 400, but didn't make it.
Doesn't diminish him in my eyes. He was just a tough out. Played both sides of the ball. Andres Galarraga, Keith.
Yes.
Always had a smile on his face. I mean, he was just an electric kind of player.
And revered in his native Venezuela.
Yes,
I mean, nobody is held in higher esteem.
Should be.
He played in that Montreal ballpark too, which wasn't very friendly to hitters. The Stade Olympique.
And now Nice behind on Ramos, 3-1.
So it looks like John has backed off his fastball a little bit, Ronnie. He's just trying to get command, and That could be a mistake. 88-mile-an-hour fastball right there.
Full count to Ramos. Runners go, the 3-2, and he struck him out with a curveball to end the inning. So Nice has his second strikeout, and the Nats strand 2. After 4, Washington 5, Mets nothing. Not much to cheer about so far tonight.
It's been a very sedate ball game.
But you can always, you know, hit the popcorn. That'd put a smile on your face.
Well, you can always put a 5 spot up here in the top of the 5th.
There you go.
That would get things going.
Take a 3 spot, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
That's a real Mohawk.
He went all the way.
Look at that. That would put him up there in upstate New York where the Iroquois were.
Probably just a big Bryce Harper fan. Lucas Duda will lead off for the Mets in the 5th inning against Tanner Roark, who's allowed just 1 hit and has retired the last 9 Mets. Roark fresh off his base hit in the last half inning. John Nice could do is lament.
Oh, look at Dan Warthen. That was body language right there. You saw him shaking his head. He's a little worried about his his starter. Oh, mother hens, those pitching coaches. They got their little group. They're very attached to their pitchers.
Well, that's because no one else is. I mean, that's how it works on a team. I mean, the fraternity is the everyday players. People don't even really think about the bullpen. But as far as the starting pitchers are concerned, the pitching coach just takes care of them, and that's it. And just keep them away from everyone else. I mean, that's really his goal.
I think pitching coach is the most important coach of the pitching of the staff. Most important guy. It's got to have a good pitching coach.
Duda laces one into center field, and he's got himself a leadoff hit. Just the Mets' second hit of the night. Well, one of the features of any trip to Nationals Park is the President's Race during the 4th inning.
And the new president with the handlebar mustache, almost the gray hair, that's Howard, Mr. Taft.
William Howard Taft, and it used to be that Teddy Roosevelt never won. Well, now he's a member of good standing. His 6th victory of the year.
But he was always about being beyond reproach. He threw a gecko into the other presidents and knocked them down.
Well, you know, that's a drive to deep left field off the bat of Recker. Back goes Hairston near the wall, and it's off the fence. Duda racing to third, and he's in standing. Recker at second base with a double. Didn't miss a home run by much. Mets up second and third and nobody out.
Jumped on the first pitch. Fastball.
Ronnie said, when do you get aggressive against ROARK? Answer is now.
He throws strikes. So jump on it. High fastball down the pipe.
Recker always mixes in his hit, doesn't he, Keith?
He does a terrific job. He works hard at it.
I was just about to point out, Ronnie, before Recker got that double, that I believe the Teddy Roosevelt saying was, speak softly and carry a big gecko.
That's what it was? Oh, it's changed.
You do realize that Theodore was the first really progressive president in our history, and he was a Republican.
It's a bull moose. Charging up San Juan Hill. He was a great conservationist.
Yes, he was.
Build the national park system.
Didn't he start? Was the one that got Yellowstone going?
Infield back. Happy to concede a run to get an out with a 5-0 lead. And Tejada takes a strike, 1-1.
Interesting to see how ROARK pitches now in a little bit of trouble. He's got a 5-run lead, but still.
Chris Young has come out on deck to bat for John Neese. So the Mets will try and forge a comeback here. Get the bullpen cranking. Carlos Torres up again. 1-1 to Tejada. And he grounds one down to third. That'll bring in a run. Rendon throws out Tejada as Duda comes in to score. And now it's a 5-1 Washington lead. So the Mets finally get a run after 22 innings without one. Tejada with the ground ball to drive in his 9th run. And now Chris Young will be the pinch hitter for John Neese. So this will be Neese's shortest outing of the year. He goes 4 innings, allows 5 runs, 3 of them earned on 8 hits.
Well, this is the right guy to hit in this spot here. Catches up with one. Could be a 2-run shot, and you're back in the ball game.
Chris was 0 for 4 last night. 5 hits in his last 36 at bats. Carlos Torres will be on to pitch for the Mets in the home 5th. And he takes a strike. 1-1.
This is Chris's first pinch hit.
Terry Collins said before the game both Chris and Juan Lagares will be in the lineup tomorrow for the second game of the series against Gio Gonzalez.
That's a 4 o'clock start tomorrow, correct?
That is correct. Game's up picks 11 tomorrow.
You can actually have a normal dinner. That was a double. You know, I said it twice, but
knock on wood.
But folks got to understand that game's over at 7. We can have an 8 o'clock dinner.
Now you shot the clown.
Big time.
No, I'm sorry.
Now you know you're going to have an 18-inning game. Here's the 2-1. Threw the fastball by him.
Leave me alone.
So what you're saying is that you're leaving here at 7 tomorrow no matter what.
Well, let's just say I got reservations at a certain restaurant in Georgetown at 9 o'clock.
Oh, we should be able to make that.
Yeah.
Right after the 14th inning. 2-2 from ROARK, and Young watches outside. Full count. Eric Young waits on deck.
I knew where his reservation was.
Did you? You
yes.
guessed? Good job.
It's a very hot spot. It's for a lot of politicians. Last time I ate there, Senator Cornyn was there, as well as Schumer. Chuck Schumer was there. So it's always fun.
Young got a piece of that one, and so did Ramos. Do the polls seek you out?
No, they do not.
Oof, that hurts.
He's got that hand exposed, but I think it hit his kneecap.
Oh.
But you got to try to keep that. It's hard. Try to keep that behind your thigh.
You know, there was a time when every catcher caught two-handed.
That's right, and you know when you shake their hands who did.
Right.
Yep. They always had the busted knuckles. Johnny Bench was the first one to have the hand behind the back.
The thing about Johnny is he had such enormous hands he could do that. And then the gloves have improved since then, too.
Yes.
Popped up in foul ground, and Rendon has room. And that's the second out.
How many baseballs could Johnny put in his hand? Remember?
7 or 8.
7 or 8 baseballs in his hands.
He and Jim Bibby could do the same thing also.
Bibby. I played with Jim in AAA.
Jim pitched for the Mets.
He pitched for the Pirates, had his best years with the Pirates. Texas, too.
One of the slowest working pitchers I've ever seen.
The tracks so slow?
Worse.
He threw hard. He was a character, and he was also the brother of Jim Bibby.
Of Henry Bibby.
Henry Bibby, yes, excuse me.
Play for the Knicks.
Yep. Oh, I always think of Henry Bibby as point guard for the UCLA Bruins.
Sure. But he was a Knick. So 2 out. Recker's still at second. And here's Eric Young, who's 0 for 2. And ROARK throws an off-speed pitch for a strike.
Didn't that one UCLA team have Walt Hazard and Gail Goodrich was the backcourt?
64, right?
Yeah, that was a team. Len Shackelford.
Well, Shackelford played with Alcindor a little bit later.
It was Sidney Wicks and the other Curtis Rowe.
Right, that was in the 80s.
Championship game. Someone Alcindor got hurt and Wicks had to play center and totally dominated the game, championship game. But I digress.
Kind of like Magic Johnson playing center when Kareem got hurt.
Right.
Here's the 1-1 and the swing and a miss. 1-2 to Young.
But the greatest performance ever put on in a championship game was Bill Walt.
Against Memphis.
When what was his Dr. Kenyon?
21
Dr. K, was it, right?
Larry Keenan.
Larry Keenan.
21 to 22.
Oh my gosh, what a
and he couldn't dunk. Right? That was when he couldn't dunk, so just drop him in.
He was just incredible.
1-2 from ROARK. Fly ball left field. Hairston back, and Hairston can't get it. Recker will score. Young to second with an RBI double. And the Mets with 2 runs home here in the 5th inning. It's now 5-2 Washington. That ball just beat Scott Hairston. Kept on going, and he couldn't get it. And Young has his 5th double of the year.
Well, 2-strike hitting. Goes right with a pitch away. Drives it away. Hairston not known for his defense. Doesn't get to it. And the Mets got a 2 spot.
They're not done yet. ROARK's fastball this entire inning has been up in the strike zone. First time all game.
So a hit for Eric Young with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Those have been hits that have been hard to come by. Not only for the Mets, but for all of Major League Baseball. The Mets are hitting 187 as a team with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. And we look at these numbers every day. So I asked Elias to run them because it feels as though those numbers are down in Major League Baseball. Look how drastically they've fallen over the last few years.
It's become a lost art, 2-strike hitting.
2-out hitting.
2-out hitting, excuse me. And I think a lot of it has to also factor into 2-strike hitting. That's kind of a lost art for him.
It just seems as though nobody hits situationally anymore. Everybody's trying for the same thing all the time.
Just out of the reach of Harrison. I always got a little more crouched when I had 0-2, 1-2, 2 strikes on me.
2 outs.
A little more set. These guys are still relaxed as if it's 1-0 count.
Well, I think what those numbers tell you is that there is an approach that the hitter has, and he's not wavering from that approach. And I know that and this is 30 years ago when I used to pitch, you know the guys that with 2 strikes, you had to be very careful because they're going to put the ball in play somehow, some way. You're not going to strike them out. But that's not the case now.
Well, it's the case with some guys. I mean, look at Miguel Cabrera's approach with 2 outs and runners in scoring
That's
position.
why he's the best on the planet. Instead of having, they should talk to him about his approach. When he's asked, he says, when I go to the plate, I'm ready to hit first pitch because that might be the only one I get. And with 2 strikes, I don't mind going the other way. That's why he gets a lot of RBIs that way.
Murphy's on with a walk, and so the inning continues for David Wright. Second walk given up by Roark. But even we saw that Miami team and what they're doing now, just trying to get the ball to the middle of the field and driving the run.
Well, that's Menachino, their new hitting coach. That's the kind of hitter he was. He had to be like that just to survive.
And you can't fashion your ball club around power when you're playing in Death Valley, a big ballpark. You've got to tailor your club around the park that you play in.
And you see what David's done this year with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Just 1 for 15. He's got a chance here. Tying run at the plate now after the Mets trailed 5-0 when this inning began. Duda a single, Recker off the wall a double. Tejada drove in the first run for the Mets in 23 innings. Now Eric Young a 2-out double and Murphy a walk to set the table.
I've been kind of seeing lately with David struggling and Murph red hot and a right-hander out there. They don't want to pitch to Murph. They're kind of willing to give Murph a pass and pitch to David. And it's going to continue as long as Murph stays raging hot and David stays cold.
So Ross Detweiler, the left-hander, up in the Nats bullpen.
We've also seen Murph have a lot of success here, the pitchers for the Nationals. He just wears them out in this ballpark.
Murphy was hitting .487 in his last 8 games here coming into the night. So a lot of conversation at the mound, buying time for Detweiler in the bullpen. David is 1 for 2 tonight. Dropped a single into right field in the first inning.
It always seems the pitchers today, the starters, they get into that middle innings of 5, 6, and 5 and 6. It's like landmines for them. They're walking through a minefield.
Well, I always tell you guys, when you have a big lead and it's in the 5th inning, you start to look ahead at the win column before you get the outs.
First pitch swinging, right, fouls it off.
5th inning always seems to be the toughest one because that makes it official.
Well, you got lefties up behind right. That's why they have Detweiler up in the bullpen. So this could be Roark's last batter. 2 out and 2 on. Right, the tying run at the plate. And Roark misses away, a ball and a strike. It's 26 pitches in this inning for Roark after he fairly cruised through the first 4.
His fastball's been up. One more if he leaves up in the zone here. Mets are right back even.
And Wright pops it up. Espinosa out. Side retired. Mets get closer. RBIs for Tejada and Chris Young. Young taking one the other way and hitting it beyond the reach of Scott Hairston. Mets back in it, trailing 5-2 halfway through. right. Rough evening last night and a big spot here. Didn't go well.
Oh, the curve was right down the middle. And David Gavin going down on a knee out in front. And we've all been there.
You know, everyone's been there, Keith, but what's interesting to me is the comment you made. And that is, I don't know if David's ever been there where they are starting to unintentionally, intentionally walk the guy in front of him to get to him. You know, that, I don't know, exponentially adds to your frustration, I would think.
Yes, it does. And
it's like challenging you. Yeah. It's like, you know what? I think he's better than you. Let's see.
And then you don't deliver in that situation. It hurts worse than if you came up in your normal order and you left the man on base. But, yes.
Carlos Torres in for the 22nd time this year. Pitched 2 nights ago against the Yankees. Not his best outing, although the ball never left the infield.
Well, he got smoked right off the bat. So I think that was the first pitch he threw, in fact.
Brian Roberts hit him right in the chest. But then he gave up a little broken bat single to Gardner, a stolen base, a wild pitch.
And the Jeter 12-footer.
Exactly. Two balls and a strike to Desmond with Hairston and Moore to follow. So Nice goes 4. He throws 84 pitches, 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. His ERA goes up from 2.17 to 2.54.
This is a huge inning for the Mets and Torres. You know, they put a couple of points on the board. They stopped the scoreless streak, had a little offense there, took some good at bats. But it means nothing if the pitcher comes out and gives up a run or two and gives it right back to him.
Well, you gave the stat earlier, Ronnie. The Nats are 17-1 when they score 4 or more runs. That's how good their pitching has been. All you have to do is give them a little bit of leeway, and their bullpen has been fantastic.
I think their ERA in the bullpen is 2.28, I believe is the number.
I went over it today. I think it's 2.53. They're 11-6 out of the pen.
Wow.
With 8 saves. They're fifth in ERA.
And even a guy like Tyler Clippard, who had a rough April, has had a terrific May, and that gives them, you know, that full path through that bullpen with Soriano to close.
Well, he's certainly the best bridge they have out there.
Well, and Storen too, you know. So they've got
Storen's back, which is nice.
They've got a lot of firepower out there. 2-2 to Desmond, and he hits the ground ball to Murphy. Gets in front of this one. 1 away. Scott Hairston coming up, 1 out and nobody on. Let's check in with Kevin.
I don't know, Gary, if anyone represents more the differences in the care of pitchers than Nationals pitching coach Steve McCatty. I mean, think about it. He was on Billy Martin's A's. 80-81. McCatty threw 27 complete games. He had once pitched a complete game of 14 innings through 210 pitches in a game. I can go on and on and on. Bottom line is all those guys and that staff were great for a couple of years and then did go on to get hurt a couple of years later for the most part. And so everything has changed now. Pitch counts, biomechanical analysis, you name it. But yet guys are still getting hurt, as we've talked about. This year alone, already now 19 guys going down to Tommy John surgery. Martin Perez of the Rangers, who was having a nice year, the latest this week. Last year, 24 total, and one of those was Rafael Furcal. So it's quite a high number already this year. I asked McCatty why. I mean, he's gone from that in his career to caring for Strasburg and caring for Zimmerman, guys that have had Tommy John. He said, look, it's really hard to explain. It really is. I mean, some things I can't figure out. He said, I take, for example, Harvey on the Mets. I think his mechanics are almost flawless. So then how do you explain it? It's tough. He went back to the youth levels and said, you know, I think the one thing is this. At the youth levels now, they're playing the game year-round. And I think at an early age, they are infatuated with the radar gun. Is that the reason why? I'm not sure. But other than that, I can't really figure out a reason. He said, you know, who knows? Maybe there was a lot more fat on those guys back then than there is now. And I know it's kind of funny, but Keith, you know, you've talked about that with the muscular guys and how it might affect pulled muscles and things like that. The bottom line is Major League Baseball is trying to figure it out, but even McCatty doesn't have the answer.
Abreu over to grab the fly ball by Hairston for the second out.
Ron, do you have an opinion on this?
Well, I have a few opinions. As far as what Kevin was saying about the youth leagues, you know, pitching off any kind of elevated surface at a young age is a bad idea. throwing any breaking balls before a certain age. Everyone knows that's always been a bad idea. I think that the radar gun, which Kevin was referring to, guys know now that if you throw 90 plus, you're going to get a contract. So instead of always learning about how to pitch, it's learning how to throw hard. If you can throw hard, you're good. It doesn't matter if you can pitch or not. The last one is that they've done such a great job with the shoulder. In my day, it was the shoulder that always went first. And they've done such a great job with band work, stretching, and exercise to build up the capsule around the shoulder that you very seldom see shoulder problems. But you can't build up any part of around the elbow to protect that ligament. It's always going to be exposed because there's not enough muscles there. You can work your forearm, you can work your tricep, bicep, but it's never going to be enough to take the strain of throwing the ball at 95 miles an hour.
But the corollary to what you're saying is because they've done such a good job of strengthening the muscles around the shoulder, that enables pitchers to throw that much harder.
That's right.
And because they're throwing that much harder, as Torres gets more to end the inning, that puts that much more stress on that ligament, which is still the same strength that it was before. It's a problem. 5-2 Nats after 5. Nate McLeod comes into play left field. He'll bat ninth. The new pitcher Ross Detweiler will hit sixth as Scott Hairston came out.
Well, this was the big issue in spring training. ROARK got one of the positions in the starting rotation, and Detweiler went out in the bullpen. Why? Not because it was a lot like Mejia. Not because they don't like Detweiler. They do. They needed a good left-hander out there, and he's in here to face Granderson.
It was a huge issue for the Nats last year. Lefties out of the bullpen. Granderson takes the fastball outside from Detweiler.
Well, we called that early because they let Gorzolani go, and the other, what was the other?
Sean Burnett.
Sean Burnett.
Bobby Abreu on deck, then Lucas Duda. Curtis Granderson playing center field tonight with both Young and Lagares on the bench. Chris Young and Juan Lagares on the bench. The shortstop Desmond playing over near the bag, perfectly positioned, throws out Granderson, one away. And, of course, there have been a lot of questions, and we've asked them, too, about why Lagares hasn't been in the lineup, and Terry Collins sought to address those tonight.
We've got 5 guys who can play, and you got to get playing time for them, and that means somebody can't play. And right now, we're trying to play the guys who can give us some offense. And not that he can't, but right now he's not. And so when, if you put him back out there, now you're talking about pinch hitting for him, and if you get the lead late in the games, when you want him in the game. So, there's no easy answers, and I know it's easy to talk about afterwards that, well, he should have been out there, but, we didn't score, so it didn't matter who was out there.
And the guy who replaced Lagares in the lineup tonight, Bobby Abreu, is on base for the second time with a 1-out single. Talking to Terry after he made those comments to the media, he said the one thing you can't see about Lagares right now is the level of frustration that he's been showing with this last little period where he hasn't been hitting. He's been chasing a lot of pitches. He's maybe been tearing up a few runways, and said he needs to settle down a little bit, and then he'll be back in there and playing most of the time.
Well, I'm all for it then. And
Duda gets sawed off. Espinosa charges and makes the play at first, and now they get the tag play on Abreu. He stays in the rundown a while and then doesn't. 4-3-6 double play, and that'll do it for the Mets in the top of the 6th. 5-2 Nationals. What's a base runner to do when a ground ball's hit right in front of him?
Well, you're supposed to knock the second baseman into the next county. You don't let him do this. Now you're dead. Espinosa does the right thing. If he's coming to tag you, you have every right. You got to be like an old-fashioned offensive lineman. You got to grab your jersey right in the chest. Can't use your hands and knock him on his butt.
Espinosa hits one weakly down to Duda. One pitch for Torres and 1 out in the 6th. What was Abreu trying to do in the middle of this play?
Well, when Moore's running him back, one thing you can do as a runner is try to clip Moore when you come back. See how he tried to clip him? Because if you run into the runner there, you can get the call.
Yeah, but the proper rundown, when you release the ball, you're going to peel out.
Exactly.
It just doesn't fly.
We saw the second base umpire get the safe call because Abreu was looking for an obstruction. Didn't get it. Nate McLeod bats for the first time. He's had a miserable time of it offensively after a nice year for Baltimore last year.
You know what's interesting is Bobby's old enough to have played when that was a play, when you would run over the second baseman, but those times have changed. It just it is not Not that it's not allowed, it's just not done.
Well, you know when it changed. It changed when Albert Bell clocked Fernando Vina with a vicious hit.
And that was over the top.
It was, but after that, it seemed as though that play became non-kosher.
But you know how that story came about is that Albert Bell had a similar play earlier in the game, and Mike Hargrove aired him out on the bench. So later in the game, he had that same play, and that's why he took it out on Vina the way he did, storing in the bullpen. So the result is that he was telling his manager, okay, you want me to knock over the second baseman? Okay, I'll knock him over. And he busted his cheekbone.
Albert Bell versus Fernando Vina was an unfair fight. I mean, come on.
Just the meanness factor.
I mean,
then throw to second base, get the force out.
I mean, we love Fernando, but, you know, he's a little guy.
Yeah.
Popped up. Who's going to get it? Wrecker calls and catches. 2 out. 5 in a row retired by Torres. Time to check in with the studio. CJ Pop is standing by for a game break brought to you by your local Tri-Honda dealers. Alfredo Simon working on that game for the Reds.
CJ, nice call.
2 out and nobody on. Now Denard Span. Span is 1 for 2, singled and walked, scored the first Nats run. Nats got 3 in the first, helped by some shoddy Mets defense, and added a couple more in the third. Mets got 2 runs in the 5th off Tanner Roark, and that's where we are. And Torres looking very sharp, runs one on the inside corner, 1-1. Torres is due a turn at bat in the next inning, but he has shown the ability to go out there night after night and give you multiple innings. Toward the middle, Murphy can't get to it. Another base hit just beyond Murphy's reach. There have been a spate of them tonight. A 2-out single for Span, his second hit of the game.
Well, all the infields are very fast, and it just seems like they're tantalizing Murph. The Marquis de Sade here, for crying out loud.
Well, you were talking the last couple of nights about him playing too deep against speedy guys. That time he's playing a little shallower, and it beats him.
Well, it's only a base hit.
Right.
I hate seeing the little ground ball the pitcher gets that turns into a base hit.
So 2 out and a runner at first. Span has 4 stolen bases on the year. Anthony Rendon, the batter.
I think Keith's saying something that for a pitcher makes a lot of sense. If you get a guy to hit the ball soft, you got to count on it being an out. But if you give up a ball that's hit hard like that ball, well, you go, okay, tip your cap.
Right.
You hit it hard enough, that's how it goes.
Is that the equivalent of having your outfielders play shallow and saying, you know, I want the bloops to be outs, and if they hit them over their head, it's my fault?
I never thought that way. I want you to play to your abilities. If you're a guy that can go get them, then I want you to play in. If you can't, play as deep as you can and just make it a single. Straw, you know, had the ability, but he didn't have as much interest as you would think he would have defensively. So I want him deep. I want him playing deep and play the ball in.
Well, the great thing about Strawberry playing deep is because he was so tall, he could take away home runs for you, which he did on more than one occasion.
And he had those big feet. He can bury a little patch of grass out there and never grow.
You mean Strawberry Field?
McCarver used to irritate. Oh, he used to make him so mad.
There was a little brown spot.
Carver in the outfield.
No, it was not even brown, guy. It was yellow by August, September. And we tried one day because we were just trying to. These are the silly things that little boys do.
Oh, gosh.
But we tried to see how many pitchers we could get in the yellow spot. So we all kind of clung to each other. We had guys on each other's shoulders, and we're trying to see how many pitchers we could get to stand in the yellow spot.
Oh, many a time I heard Darryl go under his breath going, I'm a Carver.
He's playing too deep.
Look at him. He ain't moved the whole game.
Three 3-0 to Rendon. There goes Span on a 3-0 pitch. It's a strike, and the Mets give him the stolen base. Got a huge jump.
Well, that can't happen when you've kind of got yourself back on the ball game a little bit.
Bernard Span is he's gotten off to a slow start, but he is a smart player. And he took advantage knowing that Torres wasn't paying attention.
Not often you see guys run 3-0. Now he's in scoring position with 2 out for Rendon.
Did anybody attempt to cover second base?
Nope.
And Rendon swings through that cutter, 3-2.
Well, all's forgotten if you can get Rendon out here, but Rendon with the base hit, boy, you just.
Yep.
Wow.
I never heard. Is that Italian?
Sounds it. Leonardo. 3-2. In tight, ball 4, and Worth will come up with 2 men on.
That's not.
Follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today. Nobody throwing in the Mets bullpen. The Mets need Torres to get through this inning. He retired 5 in a row before giving up a 2-out single to Span. Now we'll walk to Rendon, and he'll face Jason Worth in a spot where Worth can open up a bigger lead.
Worth takes very similar at bats to me in these kind of situations. He looks to go the other way.
Yep.
And if you get behind him, he'll try to take you out of the ballpark if he gets to a 2-0, 2-1 count. But he likes to hit the ball the other way, try to pick up that RBI, like all good hitters.
There are your city probables for the remainder of the series. Bartolo Colon looking to bounce back tomorrow afternoon against Gio Gonzalez, who had a rough start of his own last time out. And then Sunday afternoon, Zach Wheeler will try and bounce back from a tough start in the Bronx against Jordan Zimmerman. Zach, who went through that 118-pitch slog in the Bronx. Worth takes a curveball in the dirt for ball 1. Worth is 2 for 3 tonight, singled in a run back in the first. He and Rendon have really had to carry the load with Zimmerman hurt and Harper hurt, and lately LaRoche hurt, and Desmond struggling. So Rendon and Worth have been the 2 bats in the Nationals lineup who've had to produce the runs.
Well, they thought they were going to have Zimmerman, Rendon playing second, Espinosa filling that Lombardozzi role that Lombardozzi filled last year, so that their bench would be strong and on the field strong. But, you take Zimmerman out, who's just such a great clutch hitter. LaRoche, who's their power.
So those numbers for Worth, who signed that 7-year deal with the Nationals. Pops one up. Duda coming over near the sidewall, and not quite enough room. I mean, that first year, Worth really struggled after coming over from the Phillies, but the last 3 years, he has been money.
Well, remember when Davey Johnson inserted him in the leadoff role, was it? And it took all the pressure off of him. He got his stroke back, and then they were able to put him back in the fat of the order where he belongs.
Span and Rendon, the base runners, with 2 out. Torres ahead in the count, 1-2.
No need to worry about Span here. He's not going anywhere. He's going to get a good sizable lead. You want to try to keep him a little close to give your outfielders a chance, but not a lot of throwing arms for the Mets in the outfield with this defense. So hold your position and try to make a play.
1-2. Half swing. He went around on the pitch in the dirt. And Wrecker will go slap a tag on him. Or will he? He didn't bother. Strike 3. That'll do it for the Nationals.
Try that. Might be a new ploy of mine.
You going to be wearing that in the Open tomorrow? Just don't hit me with one of those horns, okay? There's our Toyota tweet of the game. Which former Mets player would you like to see as a guest during the telecast? Oh,
I like that.
Oh. Tweet us at #SNYTweet and let us know who you'd like to see. I mean, not the people who we always get to see,
exactly.
Right?
Like
somebody from the Mets past. Drew Storen on to pitch to Anthony Wrecker as we start the 7th inning.
So no obvious. I mean,
well,
we can come up with that.
Not Tom Seaver, Mike Piazza,
John Franco.
We're looking for someone.
Who have you not heard from in a while that you'd like to hear?
I mean, the one time we had George Stone on on the phone, or something like that.
The only caveat is it's got to be someone who's still living, because we don't have that ability to, we don't have a medium.
So Casey's out.
Yeah.
I'll bring the Ouija board. We can figure it out. You got 3 hours plus.
I mean, I would love to have Tommy Agee on for an hour or so, but
You know who's an obvious choice that we never have on? That's always around? Rusty. He could come in the booth. He's worked in the booth before. Never have him.
Rusty's a great guest.
Right?
But we were...
I know you guys are that's too obvious. I guess you want to go someplace else.
We're just soliciting, fan opinion. So
someone like Al Weiss, Ken Boswell.
How about Ron Taylor?
Ron Taylor would be nice.
Ron Taylor would be a great guy to get on, because not only is he part of a championship team in '69, but he's also an orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah, right.
To talk about all the Tommy Johns. Long fly ball by Wrecker over toward the corner goes McLouth. And he gets over there to make the play.
How about Gary Gentry?
I don't think anybody's spoken to Gary Gentry
Gary
in
Gentry
a long
would
time.
be a great guest.
Jerry Grody?
Yes, we've had.
We had him on?
How about John Matlack?
Oh, that'd be great. That's a good call.
Former National League Rookie of the Year.
I would love to get Gary Gentry on.
So there are a lot of people out there. Mets have had, hundreds and hundreds of players over their 53 years, and most of them we haven't heard a lot from.
Skip Lockwood?
Lockwood, Jaws.
He was a dynamite pitcher for very bad Met ball clubs.
Closer.
Yes. Threw hard.
You said bad twice, by the way.
Well, they deserved it. That was with intent.
Was Skip still here when you got here?
No, he was gone. He was gone. So was Reardon was gone.
Yeah. Jeff Reardon was a terrific closer. Of course, Neil Allen closed for a while and traded him for you.
That's right.
I think Neil's a pitching coach in some organization.
Tejada hits one right at the shortstop, Desmond. And that's the second out. So 2 up and 2 set aside. Sunday, get to know one of the newest Jets as Janae sits down with second-round pick Jace Amaro, plus an inside look at this week's rookie minicamp on an all-new Jets Nation Sunday at 7, only on SNY. Eric Campbell will be the pinch hitter, batting for Carlos Torres, who threw 2 scoreless innings in relief. Campbell 2 for 6 in his brief big league tenure.
He is one for 1 as a pinch hitter with an RBI.
Drew Storen, at one time the closer, had all sorts of difficulties, went back to the minor leagues, and has resurrected himself as a very effective relief pitcher for the Nats. Made some changes in his motion.
Well, before he used to have a very kind of low, kind of protruding kick where he'd move to the plate. Now he raises that leg just like a traditional reliever.
So I didn't realize in coming up the 69 Mets, when the next anniversary, it's going to be their 50th since the 69 Mets.
5 years from now.
Yeah. So Wayne Garrett
means now it's their 45th.
That's right.
Yes. Very good. You're good at math.
I try. Just try and keep you honest, that's all.
That's his motion. It was very herky-jerky before. Steve McCatty worked really hard, not only on his motion, but also to rebuild his confidence. He had lost it after that postseason. He was on the mound when the Cardinals made that comeback in that 5-game series, and it wore on him the next season. That and the addition of Soriano they signed, which meant he lost his closer's job.
3-2 to Campbell. And he drives one to the gap in left center field. That ball gets down off the base of the wall. And Campbell pulls in at second base with a pinch hit double. Boy, he's had some impressive at-bats and limited chances.
I'm surprised that he hasn't gotten a little more. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a start here or there.
This is impressive. Inside fastball. He had 2 strikes on him. This is a very good at-bat. Quick bat. Nicely done. This is off the base of the wall. It's a rocket.
His on-base percentage in AAA was 44%. He hasn't changed it since he's been here.
So the Mets have a 2-out base runner. Their 6th hit of the night. And now Eric Young, who drove in a run with a 2-out double in the 5th, has another 2-out RBI opportunity. Story gets ahead of him 0-1.
Keith, it's amazing, isn't it, that Eric Young would start in spring training with that real bent-over, hunched stance, with the bat right in front of him, almost like he was going to have a half swing, to 2 months later, he's straight up and down with this kind of stance. It's totally different.
And the more crouch stance was the stance that got him to the show. That probably the stance he used his whole life, so I don't know.
Well, he said he looked at some old tape, and this is something he had used in the past successfully, and Terry Collins encouraged him to go back to it. So far, the results have been pretty good. It's been hard for Eric to maintain any consistency. You know, he'll have that 3 or 4 day stretch when he looks like he's going to get on base every at bat, and then he's unable to sustain that.
Streaky.
0-2 from Storin. And he bounces one that Ramos is able to knock down.
Nice play by Ramos here. Quick. Well done.
One-two to EY. And he struck him out. Ramos will have to make the toss. Side retired. Campbell with a 2-out double, but the Mets can't get him around. Stretch time in Washington. Nats 5, Mets 2. The Diamond. Of course, they have the president's race here every night, and Teddy Roosevelt was the victor, but there have been actual presidents well connected with the game. There's Richard Nixon throwing out a first pitch.
Gil Hodges, lower right.
George Bush,
vice president at the time.
Ronald Reagan with the Mets, with Mazzilli and Gooden. Bill Clinton when he came to Shea Stadium to begin the tradition of Jackie Robinson night.
Mr. Met is everywhere.
And Thomas Jefferson.
But you and I did not make it to the White House.
No,
I was on vacation. I was in, I think, Jamaica.
I overslept and missed the plane.
I never knew that.
I did not go.
When was that trip to the White House?
It was around a week after the World Series, right? It was longer than...
I don't know.
I forget.
So you barely made it to the parade.
Yes.
And you didn't make it to the White House.
I did not make it to the White House.
Jose Valverde into pitch. Wilson Ramos scalds one, but Granderson able to get back and grab it. Even his outs against the Mets are hard. Cadillac around the majors. Joey Votto may need a little bit of knee surgery. He's going on the disabled list. The MRI says he has a quad injury, but it's the same knee that he hurt a couple of years ago. Alfredo Simon and the Reds with a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th in Philadelphia, and the Brewers beat the Cubs. Kyle Lohse now 5-1 as the Brewers won 4-3 today. Here is Screech, the other Nationals mascot. Eagle, you know.
Yes.
But he's not bald. Ian Desmond 0 for 2 in a walk tonight. Pitcher spot due up next for the Nationals. And Greg Dobbs, the newly acquired National, on deck. Dobbs just signed to a minor league deal after the Marlins let him go. Continuing his tour through the National League East.
Well, they've got a nice bench with Dobbs and Franson on there, right? Franson had a great year for the Phillies last year off the bench.
Let's see, Dobbs been with the Phillies, the Marlins, now the Nats. He's moving through like Pete Orr moved through the National League East.
Should be in Mets spring training next year.
Either the Mets or the Braves, one or the other. Valverde ahead 0-2 on Desmond. And he misses.
See Valverde doing a little of Louis T on Johnny Cueto. Doing a little more turn towards the outfield before he delivers the pitch.
Well, I would think anybody would be happy to be imitating Cueto right about now. Josh Edgin, who made his return to the big leagues yesterday, getting ready in the Mets bullpen. And Desmond fouls it back.
Right, it's pronounced, isn't it? I mean, it's a lot different than it was before. Pitchers are a strange breed, and I'm including myself in this. Is anything that seems to be working, sometimes you try it when you're not on top of your game. You know, we've heard Zach Wheeler went over his head because he said it felt more comfortable.
Right.
We'll see if he does that in his next start.
Again, the 1-2. And Desmond fouls it back again. So Valverde has certainly done what the Mets asked him to do after they felt he was throwing too many fastballs early in the year. He has certainly mixed in a lot more secondary pitches.
And I think that's one of the reasons he's still here. You know, when they had to make the decision between he and Mr. Farnsworth, is that, you know, I think that they feel he's been a good influence on some of the younger pitchers that are in the bullpen, and also that he did what they asked.
And Desmond takes strike 3 call. Fastball on the outside corner. And that's the second out. So 2 out and nobody on. Let's check in with Kevin.
Well, with this youth pitching movement that the Mets have shown the last couple of days, especially with Montero and DeGrom, what about Vic Black? You know, he came into spring training and certainly seemed like a lock to make the bullpen, but pitched his way out of it. I talked to him today, and he said, you know, first of all, for those guys, pure joy. He said, but I miss it unbelievably being up there. But it's no surprise. I absolutely didn't perform in the spring. His biggest issue, guys, is still the walk. 16 2/3 innings down there in AAA. He's walked 16. Now, he's not allowing them to score. That's the amazing part. But he said that he, too, Ronnie, has changed his mechanics. When he came over to the Mets, got him a little bit taller. His feet were closer together. He's gone back to his old ways. There's a base hit by Dobbs, and now he's got a hit in every NL East team almost as he's on base. But he said, you know, Ronnie, just like you said, I wasn't feeling it, so I decided to go back to how I did. I spread my feet apart. I got a little bit lower. It's feeling more comfortable. He said, yeah, I'm still not where I want to be. I'm still walking guys, but I am getting out of innings. So he's getting confident. He's getting there, and he wants to get back here. And the thing is, you know, I think maybe, guys, there is some line where you just have to understand he is probably going to walk guys. I mean, in his career in the minor leagues, he's averaged nearly 5 walks per 9 innings. It's just a matter of getting better than it is right now.
You know, I saw it happen with Doug Sisk, who had an incredible 1983 season for the Mets, and I mean incredible. And he got out of every jam that he would get himself into because of wildness. But boy, it puts a lot of pressure on you. You got to be unbelievable with runners on base or runners in scoring position. You almost have to be perfect. And remember, Doug Sisk had an amazing sinker, so he could get 2 outs from 1 on many occasions.
Doug had that one Houdini year in '84. And that was when Davey started going into the Rolades.
Valverde working to Tyler Moore with the man on. He throws that off-speed pitch. 1-1. Our next SNY telecast will be the final game of this series Sunday afternoon. That's Zach Wheeler's start against Jordan Zimmerman. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock on Sunday, right here on SNY. Well, it's funny, you know, you go to spring training with certain expectations for how the ball club is going to look, and there was every reason to think both Vic Black and Josh Edgin would be on the opening day roster. Both pitched their way out of contention. Edgin early, he was one of the first cuts. Yeah. Well, he's made it back, and there's no reason to think that Vic Black can't find his way back as well.
Well, you get a taste of the big leagues. You want certainly to want to be up here in the big leagues, not down there in the salt mines, as I call them.
By the way, Edgins had a good week. Not only was he called up, but the same day his wife gave birth to a daughter, their second child.
Tenley, isn't it? What a cool name.
Tenley Anderson Edgin.
Wow.
Same initials as Edison. She's going to be brilliant.
That's right.
Her brother's about 13 months old now, and so the Edgins have a lot of work on their hands. But mother and baby are doing great. And dad's in the big leagues. 2-2 now to Moore.
I've had the 2 kids. Now let's start staying in the big leagues. Let's start getting some guys out.
Well, you know what happened was Edgin was with Las Vegas. He went home to South Carolina to be with his wife when she gave birth on Tuesday morning, and he was planning to stay there till Friday. He said to himself as he went to South Carolina, he said, the only thing that would get me away from my wife and daughter would be a call to the big leagues. That night, he got the call.
There you go.
Tyler Moore has driven in 2 runs tonight with a fielder's choice and a base hit. And Valverde buries another one in the dirt. That will move Dobbs down to second. So a wild pitch charge to Valverde puts another runner in scoring position.
Well, Valverde's got the split finger, and you can get it in the dirt, and his catcher's got to be on his toes. And not much that Wrecker can do there. He smothered it, but it bounced out far enough. Good base running by Dobbs.
So he's in scoring position with 2 out. A 3-2 count to Moore with the switch hitter Espinosa on deck. Hit hard through the hole, base hit. Charged by Young. Dobbs had it coming home. Eric's throw to the plate, up the line. Wrecker with the tag. He got him! Great tag by Anthony Wrecker. He had to go a long way to put it down on Dobbs and keep the run off the board. Eric Young with the throw, and Wrecker with a tremendous tag, and they get Dobbs at the plate. Great lunging play by Wrecker. Never going to go much farther to tag out a runner coming home. Keeps it a 5-2 game after 7. Urban Santana working that game for the Braves. Tyler Clippard in for the Nationals as we go to the 8th. He's been pitching much better lately. And Daniel Murphy trying to lay down a bunt and fouls it off.
Not a bad play. Down 3 runs. Clippard averages 12.67 strikeouts per 9 innings. Got the wicked changeup. Mets have been hard on him over the years.
There's that changeup you're talking about, Keith. He's an interesting pitcher because he's one of the few guys that pitches up in the strike zone. Throws that fastball up and then throws the curveball and changeup off of that pitch.
We got him from the Yankees, correct?
Well, he made his big league debut against the Mets in a Yankee uniform. He was the last pitcher to do that before Chase Whitley last night.
In the Big Shea.
1-2 to Murph, who's 2 for 9 against Clippard with a home run.
Well, when Drew Storen fell out of favor a couple years ago, they tried Clippard in the closing role, and he just was very erratic. More failure than success. And he was originally a setup guy, and they put him immediately back there, and this is where he belongs.
1-2 to Murphy, and he takes the fastball high. 2-2. So the Nats have gotten 2 scoreless innings out of their bullpen. 1 from Detweiler, 1 from Storen, and now Clippard for the 8th, and presumably Soriano for the 9th. Bullpen has really helped keep the Nats together with all the offensive problems they've had. Murphy takes one to the hole, a base hit. Good hitting by Murphy to get aboard to start the 8th inning. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the game is Pat Cawley of Glendale. Contact Pat's office at patcawley.com. By Hyundai, leaves the rest wanting. Find out why by visiting buyhyundai.com today. And by Cure Auto Insurance. Rates should be based on how you drive, not your credit score. Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
There's Craig Stammen up in the bullpen just in case they need him.
David Wright will get a turn at bat here with a runner on base. David's 1 for 3. Had a rough at bat in the 5th after the Mets scored twice. Popped up with 2 men on.
Well, Murph manages to scratch out a hit here. 1 for 3 in the night now. The ball away. Goes right with it nicely.
That's that top hand you're talking about, right, Keith? Staying on top of that ball.
And really, you're leading off an inning. You're down 3 runs. You're trying to get on base. Start a rally.
Wright has excellent numbers against Clippard. 6 for 18 with 3 home runs. And he takes a strike with a changeup. 1-1.
Well, there's a high changeup there. Got away with it, did Clippard.
Clippard debuted for the Yankees back in 2007 as a starter. Nats pretty quickly made him a relief pitcher, and he's found his niche. Been in over 70 games, 4 straight years for the Nats.
He can throw a couple innings for you occasionally. He's a guy, like I said, a fastball, good curveball that he very rarely uses, and that good changeup.
Got a quick note from earlier. We talked about that Tom Gone issue, and Ronnie, you were talking about throwing the balls at a young age. Longtime scout friend of mine texted me, how about this? 30 years ago at the Little League World Series, percentage of breaking balls 10%. Now 50%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That just shouldn't be. 12-year-olds should not be throwing curveballs. Right. That's just nuts. Clippard ahead 1-2 on Wright. And David goes down swinging for the first down.
Boy, oh boy, David is really, really in a funk.
It's honestly, for David, kind of like strike identification. I think, how many pitches have we seen him in the last week swing at out of the strike zone?
Well, he's pretty self-aware when it comes to these things, and his comments after the game last night, I think, were pretty telling. As Granderson steps in, Curtis 0 for his last 10. I mean, David said, look, when we're struggling, I have a tendency to try and do too much, and that leads me to go out of the strike zone. Question is, how do you rein that back in?
Well, I don't know enough about hitting. I think you just have to kind of, if they're going to walk you and not throw you strikes, you can't swing. You got to trust that the guys behind you are going to get the job done. I mean, if you, as a pitcher, know a guy's going to go out of the strike zone, he's an out. I don't care who he is, how good he is. And David's as good as they get.
Oh, this game can be very cruel.
It's cruel game. 6 months are cruel sometimes.
I mean, Keith, were you ever in that position where your team was struggling and you felt as though you had to go outside yourself?
I never considered myself a player like a Mike Schmidt or a Darryl Strawberry, who with, I mean, if you're going to be a game changer, you got to be a home run hitter. You know, you got to be a guy that gets red hot and can hit long balls. So I was always very disciplined, although there were times at 84 when Darryl was learning. I really had, I felt, one of my second best year of my career, RBI wise, clutch wise, to my 79 year, and I just stayed within myself. And I always had a good eye, Gary. I always, like Ralph said, I took a walk. If they're not going to give me anything to hit, I'm not going to go fishing after it. A couple times when I was red hot, I remember Bobby Valentine was our third base coach. And I said, Bobby, I'm red hot. I'm going to swing at some bad pitches here, particularly off a left-hander, because they're not going to pitch me. But Darryl behind me had no Gary Carter there.
Yeah.
And that's no cut slide to Darryl. Darryl was a young kid. So I did swing at some pitches out of the strike zone on some left-handers that I particularly liked to hit, and they were always away. And because I just felt I had to drive that run in, and I just had such a good clutch year that year. But I was always good at staying within myself, Gary.
2-2 to Granderson. And that's high, 3-2. So going a little bit outside the strike zone occasionally never put you in any kind of jeopardy.
No, it was always a pitch that was usually up in the strike zone. I mean, you can hit a pitch in your eyes. It's a nice pitch to hit, Gary, if you swing level, like Yogi would tell you.
Murphy at first and 1 out, 3-2 to Granderson, and he punches one toward the hole. Nice play by Desmond, and he gets the force. Well, the Yankees for 4 days played a defense where there was nobody playing shortstop. The Nats going a different way. Granderson hits it to the shortstop hole, and Desmond makes a terrific play.
I'm curious as to what Murph thinks it's a line drive that's going to be caught, and that's the difference. He held up. This is a heck of a play by Desmond.
Well, it just shows you the kind of athlete he is, and he has struggled all year defensively, but comes up with the play of the game.
Well, that keeps the tying run from coming to bat in a 5-2 game. Bobby Abreu's been on base twice tonight with a walk and a single. 1 for 2. So now Granderson at first with 2 out.
Now Murph thinks this is a line drive that's going to be caught, and that little bit of hesitation, that makes the difference.
He who hesitates. To Abreu. Well, if Abreu can get on here, you get Lucas Duda to the plate as the tying run. That's looking for something good to happen here in the 8th. They were able to break their shutout string in the 5th with a couple of runs. Jerry Blevins, the left-hander, stays busy, perhaps getting ready for a potential Duda at bat. And Williams' bullpen has had it all working. Now Clippard behind on Abreu, 2-0. And he takes the fastball out of the strike zone, ball 3. Our Verizon trivia question tonight: the only player in Mets history born in our nation's capital.
Huh.
There have not been many players from D.C. play in the big leagues. He's the only Met. That's a spectacular question. I don't think any of us knows the answer to. Do you?
I don't.
I definitely don't.
Bray will be taking one here, and it's ball 4, and he's on base for the 3rd time, and Duda will come to bat as the tying run. So let's see if Matt Williams makes the pitching change. Nope, he's going to send the pitching coach, Steve McCatty, out. So it looks like they'll leave Clippard in to face Duda. Boy, how big does that Desmond play look right now?
I mean, why would you have Jerry Blevins up if you're not going to have him face Duda?
Agreed.
I mean, those are the decisions that managers make that interest me.
Aaron Barrett gets up now in the Nats bullpen. Maybe one of the reasons is that Duda's 0 for 8 against Clippard. But then the question is, why'd you get Blevins up in the first place? Yeah. For every strikeout Met pitchers record this weekend against the Nats, you'll get 1% off each ticket to see the Mets at home, May 20th through the 28th. Against the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Pirates. Cheer on your Mets pitchers all weekend long and save. Log on to Mets.com/strikeouts for more information. 5 strikeouts from Met pitchers tonight. That's 5% off so far. Here's Duda. And Lucas takes a strike. Duda 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 5th. Grounded into a double play his last time up. Mets were down 5-0 in this game. One big swing from Duda, and they could be back tied. Granderson at second, Abreu at first, and 2 out. Ball and a strike to Duda with Anthony Recker now on deck.
Clippard can give up the long ball.
He's all arms and legs, is Clippard. And you see that front arm, the glove high in the air. Very Jim Palmer-like when he lets that ball go.
Two home runs allowed this year by Clippard. A good changeup had Duda completely fooled. 1 and 2.
Well, 92 on his fastball, 80 on the changeup. That is about as perfect a differential in speed as you can get.
Now the 1-2. Tried to hold, and he checked it in time. Lance Barrett the call at third. 2 and 2. Nice expression.
Yeah, like,
whoa. Got away with that one.
Yes. One more chance. Well, he popped him inside earlier in the at-bat. Let's see if he's brave enough to do it again, because that's the pitch.
2 out, 2 on, 2 and 2 to Duda. Fly ball center field, and Span is right there to retire the side. Mets strand a pair in the 8th. Clippard struggles but gets the job done. That's up 5-2. Toyota tweet of the game. We asked which former Mets player we'd like to see as a guest during the telecast. And let's see some of your responses. Well, that's all over the map. Turk Wendell would be a great guest.
Yes, he would.
So would John Olerud.
John Stearns made it.
Shinjo, we might have to have an interpreter. Keith Mustache, they would like to make a return. The Black Cat.
The Black Cat. Ed Charles would be wonderful.
George Theodore would be a great guest. The Stork.
Maybe Eddie would do a poem for us.
Todd Pratt.
Watch out, he might jump,
Yeah.
Choo-Choo Coleman.
And the Stork made it.
All fantastic suggestions.
Great job, guys.
Including Keith's mustache.
That's gone.
Is that gone for good?
Charlie Weaver, I'm not.
Oh, we said no one deceased. So there you go.
There you go.
Josh Edgin will pitch for the Mets in the bottom of the 8th. Josh made his first appearance of the season last night through one pitch. Got a fly ball from Jacoby Ellsbury. First pitch here. Danny Espinosa fouls it back. Espinosa 0 for 3. Thought he had reached in the second inning. Take that error off the board. That was challenged and overturned. We didn't update the scorecard. Sorry.
It's all right. Just want to make sure you're watching, Gary.
I don't know how our scoreboard scorecard software works down in the truck. When a challenge is made, if they've already entered the error, is it easy for them to overturn it on the software?
I think they can overturn the software, but it'd be nice if they colored it in, because that way we'd know it was a challenge.
Right. Like purple or something like that?
Well, colors are not going to be great for me, but for you guys, you would know.
Dave McLaughlin, the 9-hole is on deck. Comebacker for Edgin. And Espinosa retired one away. Get up to the minute news as the Rangers get ready for tomorrow's Eastern Conference Finals against the Canadiens in Montreal, with in-depth analysis and opinion on SNYRangersblog.com, part of the SNY.TV blog network. Now, if they don't go overtime, we should be able to watch the whole Ranger game before our game starts here. They start at 1.
Oh, that's right.
We start at 4.
That was my plan. I want to be home by the time it starts, so I can sit down and watch that. There's a Ranger fan.
Put him in goalie. Block some shots.
Oh. Clouth up for the second time. Slugs one to right. Abreu moves over and runs it down for the second out. Abreu still moves pretty well for a 40-year-old guy.
Amazing. Amazing.
He does.
I mean, he was a one-time Gold Glover in Philadelphia. So Edgin's gotten the first 2 outs. Now faces Denard Span, who's had a good night. On base 3 times with 2 singles and a walk. Rafael Soriano getting ready for the save opportunity in the 9th inning. Reds have beaten the Phillies 3-0. Alfredo Simon a big night. 7 2/3, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts.
It's the same Simon the Mets saw, right?
It's 4 straight losses for the Phillies. Let's answer the Verizon trivia question. Only Met born in Washington, D.C.
Scott Hairston.
Oh, Craig Anderson. Well,
that's going back.
That's very trivial.
That's a good one.
If you got that answer, you are the greatest Met fan on earth. I bet even Howie wouldn't have gotten that one. By the way, we're not too far away from our battle of the broadcasters.
Oh.
You know that, right?
I'm not sure if I cleared that day, to tell you the truth.
I may call in with the fake hamstring injury or the bad back.
So you're going to leave me all alone?
Well, you know more than we know anyways.
I need a team around.
Okay, all right. It'll be like College Bowl.
Howie has his seconds. I'm going to have mine.
We'll be like the College Bowl. We'll have the oversized sport coats and the bad ties. The shirts that are too big for the neck.
Who was the host of the College Bowl?
I forget. Oh, I used to love that show.
The GE College Bowl.
Yep. Used to love it. Okay, we're there for you. I'm not
Yale, darling.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying we're going to help you a lot, though, Gary. I think you're going to have to cover, really 62 to 83. I think
well, here's
if you cover that, we're good.
This may sound strange, but my weak spot is the 80s.
Oh, that's okay. Well, we got that covered.
I was out of town then. Nice inning for Edgin as he gets him out 1-2-3. On to the 9th. Soriano trying to close it for the Washington Nats. No more than one hit for any Met. They have managed 7 hits tonight. They got a couple of runs in the 5th to snap a 22-inning scoreless streak, but that's all. And now Rafael Soriano will try and seal the deal for the Nationals as we go to the 9th.
Well, Soriano's a guy that saved over 40 games 3 times. One with Tampa Bay and the last 2 years here. 85 saves.
Lower third of the order, Recker, Tejada, and the pitcher's spot due up for New York.
And he's bounced around, Ronnie, from team to team. He's with Seattle, wasn't he, for a bit?
Atlanta. Key is you don't want him to take his shirt out of his pants. That's the sign that the game's over.
No untucking.
Yeah, no untucking.
Recker had a double and scored a run in the 5th, 1 for 3 on the night. And Soriano falls behind him 2-0.
This is what Soriano can do.
A little bit of rain falling here in Washington. We thought the rain was done here. Of course, rain washing out the Yankees game in New York tonight.
Got to take here.
Swinging on 2-0, down by 3 runs.
Wow.
Not even a wow.
I can see your good hitters. You know, I'm not saying Recker's a bad hitter,
but you know, you're a 300 hitter.
Murphy plus. And Recker doesn't play enough. And you got on base.
Yeah, that was a little curious right there.
It's another way that the game's changed. We talked about earlier about not running over the second baseman on that double play. Well, that's certainly something that's changed also.
You mean like not getting a hit with 2 outs and runners in scoring position?
Yeah.
Is that the way the game has changed?
That one's more physical, but you know.
But I think it's all of a piece, isn't it? It's about doing the same thing the same way every time, no matter what the situation in the game. Not how the game's supposed to be played, is it?
No.
3-1 from Soriano, and he might have gone after ball 4 there. Don't get it.
Well, you know, you bring up a good point, Gary. Situationally, there's certain things that you can and cannot do in a ball game. You know, walk the leadoff hitter if you're a reliever that's just been brought in. There's just certain things that can't do.
What are these guys doing?
That's slow motion thundersticks.
That is the slowest.
Recker drives one deep center field. Back goes Span to the warning track at the wall. He makes the catch.
Big yard.
Wow. Recker appeared to get all of that, and it wasn't enough.
This is a big yard.
That honestly looked like it was knocked down, too, by the wind and rain.
I think so. I think in the summer they say the ball really carries out of left center field. But this kind of died.
It's just...
They're comatose. It's like they've been in, what was that, Happy Acres.
That's like the 2 old guy from the Muppets in the Loge section.
Like Devo in slow motion. 1 out. Here's Tejada, who's grounded out 3 times. One of those drove in a run. By the way, I have an answer for you.
Okay.
The host of the GE College Bowl, which, by the way, was on the air for the last time in 1970, so
we apologize.
The vast majority of the audience has no idea what we're talking about. Robert Earl.
Yes.
Now, the original host was Alan Ludden of Password fame.
Password, okay.
But that was, he left after 1962. But Robert Earl is the guy we remembered. 0-2 to Tejada.
Oh, no. Look at these guys.
It's quite ungentlemanly.
That's kind of how it was with Fernando Vina and Albert Bell. That's kind of how it was. Exactly like that. Look at these guys. Oh. All fastballs so far by Soriano. Someone's on the field.
What is this?
Oh.
It's a Met fan, too.
Yeah, some silly person decided they wanted to run the bases, and security is going to have to come out in their ponchos to get them.
It's not even Sunday.
And, of course, we will not show it because we don't want to encourage other people to do the same.
Oh. All right, get him. Take him away. Oh, ooh. That's it. Ooh. Oh, vicious.
We're going to get... Wow.
Well, yeah, that was not good. We're not going to show it, but the guy tried to give himself up to security. The security guy gratuitously just clotheslined him and slammed him to the ground. There was just no reason for that.
Usually they would do that in the tunnel.
Yeah, that was a little much.
So,
but don't run on the field, folks.
No.
That's not a great thing to do.
You know, I was talking to someone in New York about that. If you do run on the field, it's like a $6,000 to $10,000 deal for you, lawyers and all that stuff.
Plus, you're banned from the stadium for life.
Yeah,
who needs that? 0-2 to Tejada, and he flies one out to right. Worth steadies, and that's the second out. So the Mets are down to their final out. Coming up tonight on Geico Sports Night, Chris Carlin decides to give us a Preakness winner in a haiku.
Very nice.
Haiku's what, 575?
Oh, yes, 575, but I'm thinking Chrome. Okay, just trying to get the California Chrome.
I heard Chrome had a cough. California Chrome. That's 5 right there. There's your first line. Well, Juan Lagares will pinch hit with the Mets down to their final out of the night. John Neese gave up 3 runs in the first inning, helped out by some very shoddy defense, and Mets have not seen the light of day as they're on the verge of their 3rd straight loss. Soriano falls behind Lagares 2-0. Eric Young will be next if Lagares can keep it going. And now it's 3-0. Well, Soriano really wanted to walk Recker leading off the inning. Recker wouldn't let him. And it looks like he may want to walk Lagares too. Want in quotation marks.
Tejada swung at the first pitch too, Gary.
He did.
Yes, he did.
And that's ball 4. So the Mets have life in the ninth. Lagares draws a 4-pitch walk. And now Eric Young will come up, and the Mets need just one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate. EY 1 for 4, doubled in a run with an opposite field shot over Hairston's head back in the 5th. And Matt Williams making sure his corner infielders play in, because Eric is certainly a threat to bunt here, but they've got more playing behind the runner at first.
I think you have to play in front of him, at least for 1 strike.
I mean, you know, a big part of Eric's game here is to drag a bunt. He has to get on base any way he can to get the next guy up as the tying run.
The first pitch swing, Gary. Interesting. Was it open mutiny?
Oh, that ball came up and hit him right in the ribs.
It's no fun. And now the Mets are down to their final strike. To Young. Lagares runs the pitch up and away. Lagares takes second on defensive indifference.
Love writing that DI in there.
One-two from Soriano. And that one sails outside. 2-2.
He's thrown any split fingers. That's usually his signature pitch. A lot of fastballs with an occasional slider.
That's trying to get Murphy to the plate. Down 5-2 in the ninth. 2-2 to Eric Young. And again he misses. Full count.
This is Soriano. This is why I think he's bounced around so much.
You know, you got the guys like Papelbon for Philadelphia with that intentness. And then you got Soriano, who's just kind of walking the park.
Three and two to Eric Young, and he fouls it off, and he's still in there.
You don't want Murph coming up, and it's a good matchup with Murph.
Yeah,
because Soriano can throw a fat one.
Murphy's already had a 3-run homer this week.
Off the foul pole.
Wouldn't mind being in position for another. Eric Young battling hard, got from 0-2 to 3-2. Ball 4, and the Mets will get the tying run to back. Back-to-back 2-out walks issued by Soriano, and the Mets have a chance here in the 9th.
Well, I've seen Soriano enough, and I can understand why GMs have moved him on down the pike.
So now Murphy, who's 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. Lagares at second, Eric Young at first. Murphy 2 for 11 in his career against Soriano.
Got to look middle in here for a strike.
And he hits one deep to right. Back goes Worth onto the warning track at the wall. He leaps. And
he's got it.
He's got it, and the ball game is over. Jason Worth with a leaping grab takes a 3-run homer away from Daniel Murphy to end the night. Murph got the swing he wanted, and Worth able to make the play, and the Nats hang on for the 5-2 win.
I want to see if this ball. I want to see if this ball was a home run. I'm not sure, Gare. He had to look middle in. He got it. It got in enough. Let's see if it had enough to get out.
Why not?
Oh, it certainly did.
Yes, it did. Good call, Gare.
It certainly did. Wow.
You know what it was? It was the exasperation on Worth's face. He's like, I can't believe I've got to catch this ball after Soriano lets the tying run come to the plate, and he still makes the play.
That's a home run.
It was not exactly a celebratory reaction from Jason Worth. It was almost like a resigned reaction.
He's like, I'm just sick of this with Soriano. It's always like this. That's what it looked like. And if he takes out his shirt,